It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. Start the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. Start the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea's Perspective. Welcome, welcome, welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. We have quite a lot lined up to talk about. We'll talk about Victor Osimhen, Jamie Gittens, Maignan, Christopher Nkunku, Hugo, Ekitike, Jorrel, Hato, Mohammed Kudus. And chances are, as the show progresses, new things will emerge, and be rest assured, if that happens, this will be one of the first places you'll hear about it. So thank you, and thank you so much for joining us. Here's the thing. We will start with the most fitting topic. I think it makes sense that we do, which is about Victor Osimhen, in my opinion. That's the most fitting topic because it looks like the trending thing on YouTube, on X right now, is people the belief that Osimhen is actually waiting for Chelsea Football Club. Is it possible? That may well be the case. Do I think that's exactly what's happening? I honestly do not know. But here's the thing. Osimhen may well end up joining Chelsea, but it's very, very difficult. I'm not going to bust your bubble. I'd be happy if he joins. I want to end the war that I'm fighting with a lot of people, and one of them being a DJ. Well, thank you for 11 likes already, and I still believe we can do a lot better than 11 likes. So keep dropping the likes on the stream. And because we're streaming in a vertical format, here's how you can make that happen. Press and hold your screen for just about a second, and then you see the bells and whistles, including the option to like, comment, and whatever you want to do. But let me get to say hello to people so we can start addressing the items we have lined up without wasting much of your time. Chelsea saying Maignan about to join Chelsea any hour today. 15 million. Where did you hear that? Is that coming from Fab? Maybe I missed the most current update. Big up to you too, DJs. I'm fighting serious war with DJ right here. Osimhen has to happen. I am hearing he may be available for another loan move. We should be all over him. Even for a loan, it is difficult. And I'm trying to be as objective as I can here. Osimhen comes to Chelsea. As long as Maresca tweaks his approach and accommodates him, Osimhen could be the difference between us winning the league. And I'm serious. But a lot has to change in terms of the way we approach the game. But that's, by the way, Dortmund rejected Gittens' 35 million bid and asking for 17 million. I don't believe they're asking for 17 million. I think it probably will get the deal across the line for around 50 million euros or so. Then we have Chelsea. Okay, big up, just saying hello. Whoever was the agent of a Sanchez deal needs to repeat it for Osimhen. All right. No, war as in a joke. You should know. In a joke, just the debate. I heard that Sanchez could be heading to Saudi Arabia. Good for him. If he takes it now, a lot of money for him. He's still very young. He could stay there 3 years and then be one of the richest English players ever and then come back again. I'm trying to create a Thanos gauntlet. A gauntlet meme video for Chelsea European heritage. I think you can if you use Sora. Sora is a powerful AI. But you have to know what you're doing first. It will have Arsenal saying that they will beat Real Madrid. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Big up everyone. Big up to you too. London move. Still, it's gonna be difficult. Except if you just want to come and prove to us that we really need him. Take a not necessarily take a pay cut, but accept the heavily incentivized salary. Join us. Prove to us that we need him, and then we make an exception and sign him on a permanent. Whether that's a possibility, actually, I still think Osimhen joining Chelsea with that on loan is very difficult. He has 1 year left on his Napoli contract, and they wouldn't want to risk it. And chances are, Osimhen actually rejecting Saudi is a way of getting back at Napoli. Yeah, that may well be the case. Good morning to you too, Adu Belama. Too nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. With Osimhen in our team, we're fighting for the league. Okay, here's the question I want to ask you. As I said before, it only makes sense for us to start with the most fitting topic, because that's the trending thing now on X social media. The belief that Osimhen is actually waiting for Chelsea Football Clubs. Here's the question I want to ask you. How do you think Chelsea can make it work? Give me an idea of the possibility. Tell us how you think Chelsea can make Osimhen to Chelsea happen. The club can make it happen without it coming from the. You could say things changing on Osimhen's end in terms of his wage demand. Maybe his you could say him accepting a heavily incentivized salary. I want to hear you. So you have let's hear what you have to say. For me, I don't see the possibility. Plus, that's the reason why we've moved on from Osimhen months ago. Or you could say just a month ago, which was the reason why we signed Liam Delap. I don't think Chelsea are still interested in signing Osimhen. Believe me, I'm not kidding when I say that, and I'm being as objective as I can. It's not possible, but I'm listening to you. Let's hear you. How do you think Chelsea can make it work? That Osimhen joins Chelsea. I'm waiting, really. So while we wait, more likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We have 50 people following the show on YouTube overall. We have 161. 50 of those on YouTube. The rest are shared between X and Facebook. Whether equally, I honestly do not know. But let's hear your theory or your suggestion on how Chelsea can sign Osimhen. As for me, would I like it to will happen? Yeah. Do I think it's possible? No. But that's just my opinion. Chances are it's still possible, but I don't see it happening. Consider you make a valid point. The wages are massive. I get it. I get that. And the fact he turned down a huge salary from Saudi, maybe he's willing to negotiate with Chelsea and take a pay cut. I think that is just us being hopeful, because he's a very good player, and him joining Chelsea will make a whole lot of difference. Here's the thing: if in fact he rejected Saudi for money, then we should be able to at least give him something close to what he's asking, and forfeit our heavily incentivized wage structure for him to join us. But we're not willing to do those things, and I will not for any reason ask the club to make an exception. If we do that, we're creating a serious problem for ourselves. If anything, he will remain at Galatasaray. If anything, he will remain at Galatasaray, or maybe just like Bucci said in his tweet, or maybe join a top Italian club, because that tweet where Bucci broke the news that he rejected the Saudi offer, he specifically said he wants to stay in Europe and play for a top Italian club. He was specific with that. So maybe Juve will still land their man or so, but Osimhen to Chelsea, it's not happening, especially after we signed the lab. Had the case been that we haven't signed the lab, then now you'd say there's still space for Osimhen. Then we'll sign him. Except if alone, maybe. Do I see it happening still, even alone? No. And I'm being as honest as I can be, as objective I can be. I wouldn't say honest because I can't tell the future, or there's no way to tell whether I'm correct or not. But I strongly believe it's never going to happen. So press and hold your screen for just about a second, then you see the bells and whistles, which includes the like button, comment option, share option. And if you want to go full screen, just swipe up. And if you go full screen, believe me, you wouldn't want to watch YouTube videos any other way. But let's hear your theory. Osimhen's deal for Chelsea deal. Okay, Osimhen to Chelsea deal is equal to 200k wages and percentage of his shirt sales and performance bonus. Instant signature. He will get promo videos on signing like Pogba. Interesting, interesting theory right there. He's not old enough to retire in Saudi Arabia. Okay. Not bad. Maybe just to try get Osimhen on a year loan. In that case, Osimhen becomes a free agent at the end of the season, and he goes where he wants. If we are able to get him on a year loan, if he runs down his contract, becomes a free agent, then yeah, then we can actually sign him since we will not be paying 60 or 70 million euros to Napoli. Then we can actually take that to what's the language I'm looking for to cover his wages for at least 3 years. But I'm still gonna be I'm still gonna tell you what I believe will happen. Osimhen to Chelsea isn't happening, especially especially after the fact that the Lap is now a Chelsea player. Okay, wasn't this guy saying he wanted more money? Saudi offered him so much money. Nobody in Europe is offering him that much money. Here's the thing, Star Slayer 344. There's a report, a subsequent report that we addressed yesterday. Whether to believe that particular report or not, I do not know. It did say something to the effect of after the Saudis met his demands, booked a medical for him, uh, he rejected it still. So that's it. Yeah, he did say something to the effect of him asking for more money. They offered him more money, and then booked the medical. And then the next day they got a call that he doesn't want to join them. So one way or the other, it's still about money. But for some reason, there's a personal reason why he rejected that offer, even after the Saudis met his demands. After he asked for a raise, they did that and everything. But of course, I wasn't at the negotiating table. I can only speculate. But that's by the way. Did he really do all these just to stay in Italy? I don't know. Here's the thing. In all honesty, there are plenty of reasons one would reject such offer. Personal reasons. It could be his family. It could be him because Fabrizio Romano did say in his expos that he was in Nigeria at the time, and the Saudis are waiting for the green light, and they had already booked medicals for him. Maybe because he went to Nigeria and his pastor told him don't go there, or his juju man, or just had a conversation with his family. It's that sort of decision isn't easy to make. Like Bobby explained yesterday, culture difference and everything, lifestyle. There's a chance if he goes to Saudi, he's never going to be able to live the sort of lifestyle that he's used to, and all these things. So it's not necessarily about money, even though he would want to earn that much money. But if there are other aspects of his life that will affect that he doesn't want to forfeit, then he can. That's a good reason to say no to the offer. But that's by the way, I want to hear you if you still believe it's a possibility. If you're one of those that believe he's actually waiting for Chelsea, I'd like to hear from you. How can Chelsea make it work? I don't see it, especially after the signing of Liam Delap. But again, that's a small opinion. Osimhen to Chelsea, please. Osimhen to Chelsea. And that has some reading to it. Saudi offering 550k wages a week. Maybe he wants a lot more to forfeit the things we've talked about, to forfeit his lifestyle. Um, you could say, and also move his family there, or maybe leave his family behind and travel to Saudi and all that. So it's not easy. I don't have an issue. It's his life. Okay, if Osimhen rejects that, he probably wants to be a free agent at the end of the season and maximize his earnings. That's another thing, because you can't force him to sign another deal. I think that's an excellent reasoning. And I did say something to that effect yesterday when we had that conversation, because probably he feels the Napoli did him dirty. That's a more relatable term to use there. It's a natural thing for humans to do such thing, to get back at those that they feel treated them badly. He may well be doing that because you can't force him to sign another contract. The most that Napoli can do would be to call him back and he goes and plays for them again. You don't know. Players do that. Yeah. Osimhen to Chelsea. Let's see if it happens. It's not up to me. Let's see. He's not coming to Chelsea, and that's how I see it too. Chelsea for less than 350 k a week plus bonuses. He's already turned down several significant offers, so he knows exactly what he's doing. What he's doing, I don't know. He may well still end up in Saudi Arabia as a free agent. Yeah, earn the sign-on fee plus how much they'd be paying him weekly. Osimhen to Chelsea isn't happening, especially after the signing of Liam Delap. And I can't just keep saying, I can't stop saying that. It's not like, look, I love my club, and I would like, even though he was never at any time my first choice, but if we can sign him right now, I'd be happy. Once again, I just don't see it happening. And I've said, if you feel like the possibility is still there, just as a lot of people on X believe, present your theory and how Chelsea can make it happen. I'd be happy to read it, and we'll talk about it. Yeah, that may well be the case. Maybe the woman in his life don't want to leave in Saudi. Women are seen as less than. Okay, that's an argument I don't want to get to. Culture is culture. People live their life the way they want it. But I get where you're coming from, Chelsea Ultra. Let's see what else do you have here. If we are going all out for another striker, Ekitike, then clearly the lap is not going to be our only striker. So Osimhen would happen if we see it from that angle. Yeah, you are really coping with this situation very well. Here's the thing. Are we looking, is there a chance we sign another striker? Yeah. But more of a hybrid striker, not Osimhen's type of striker. In all honesty, that's exactly what we're going to do. Even if we sign another forward, it'd be in the mode of Ekitike, not in the mode of Osimhen, especially how much we'd have to spend to get the deal done. So, my opinion, Osimhen to Chelsea isn't happening. Is there still a possibility? Yeah, because of course he's not playing for it. He's just a Napoli player, and I don't think he'd play for Napoli again. So if anything, he'd go somewhere else, and Chelsea may well end up being that somewhere else. But we'll see. And this is Eno Idem. I like such names. Eno Idem says, I think Chelsea are trying to clear out fringe/surplus players to requirement with huge wages to fund, and an experienced striker in Osimhen and Nico Williams transfer. Saudi can wait for him until deadline day. Chelsea aren't signing Nico Williams anymore. Even before it was clear that Jamie Gittens to Chelsea will eventually happen. I don't. Nico Williams isn't leaving Atletico Bilbao anytime soon. His salary is crazy, and he's actually on the verge of signing a new contract, if we're to believe the rumors out there. But okay, you still believe Osimhen could still join Chelsea? Okay, let's see if it happens. Eden also here says, maybe Osimhen just wants Napoli to get nothing off of it. It's a possibility. It's a human thing. It could be a way of him getting back to them. Because some Nigerians who said they did him shege. If you speak outside, you don't understand what I mean. Let's be realistic. Who in Europe out of the clubs can afford his wages? B, offer Champions League of football. C, has a manager that wants to handle his ego. Do I think he has ego issues? I would say no, honestly. He may well end up in Saudi Arabia. Coach, really? Yeah, he doesn't want to move there. He nearly moved for a second time, but for some reason rejected the deal. Here's how much they will present on the table for him. He will leave immediately, but we don't know. I'm just speculating, of course. I don't know why he after even letting them book medicals for him and still he then said no to them. I'm not sure. We can only speculate. I wasn't at the table where they had that conversation or whether he wants to join them or not. I can only speculate. Honestly, we don't know. Yeah, chances are he still end up there. Galatasaray have a Champions League and have offered 25 million a year. So chances are he stays at Galatasaray, because I saw that. I think they were off. They did offer him something close to more than 70%. Close to, yeah, around 65 to 70% of what the Saudis were offering at the time. Whether that has changed right now, I don't know. Galatasaray, they have money too, so chances are he stays. He stays there, and they're treating him like a king. So why leave? Good morning to you too. Okay, are we still on Ekitike? Chances are we'd still get him. Jude Mesola, nice to see you, the CEO of Chelsea FC Jingles. I don't know if Victor, but we're still hunting. But I don't think it'd be Victor Osimhen for reasons I've explained. I'm not going to say no if he ends up becoming him, but we'll see. I have a feeling Sancho did the same thing with United. Their hate for their parent club is probably the driving force. It's a possibility to get back at them and still be earning money. In the case of Sancho, I do the same Sancho did. I'm still earning a living quite a lot, and staying at Chelsea means that I take a pay cut, one that actually will be heavily incentivized. I would have done what Sancho did. For me, I'm not stressing over my head. Okay, his transfer feels like those suspense Hollywood series of back in the days. Yeah, something like that. But that's why the way Constantine then. Toot! Nice to see you, the captain of the community. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join me on the panel. Can you imagine Kante acting like Osimhen? Never. Ooh, he would first big offer that comes his way, and boom. I think he's likely to remain in Turkey. It's
Yeah.
more likely, yep. They're willing to pay him a lot more. They treat him like a king there, and he's very, very happy there. But Dante,
Yeah.
let's hear you. Osimhen's saga continues. Transfer saga continues. And it's a good thing. I'm seeing less and less people name calling him, probably because, yeah, the their argument that he's just following the bag, you could argue, has been shattered by the fact that he rejected Saudi improved offer to remain in Europe. But Dante, let's hear you. What do you make of the whole thing? What could be the reason he rejected the Saudi deal even after they booked a medical, which I believe there's no way they would have gone that far had they not gotten, you could say, some measure of positive signals from Osimhen's camp. But let's hear you.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Big up
Everyone
to
in
you
the
too.
chat. Yeah, look, I'm starting to think he loves this stuff, and he absolutely loves being the center of attention because it's looking that way
I
to
mean,
me.
that's
The way
another way
so,
to see it.
he's number one trending everywhere. It's been, it's always about him. And who does that help? That helps also helps his team, his marketing team, his PR, his management, everyone. He's always, in the headlines. So I think he likes that. So there's a little element to that. It looks like it. Why he didn't take the Saudi deal? Well, again, I think maybe it got to him, people saying and reading and hearing that, his career's finished and he's going there for the money. And maybe he didn't like that. Maybe that hit a bit of a nerve to him and he doesn't like that. So he wants to maybe, so he's definitely got his image might have taken a hit. And I think he's noticed that and maybe changed his mind.
Or
But it,
maybe because he was in Nigeria when the medical was booked, maybe
yeah,
his pastor told him, because Nigerians, they can be very superstitious. Maybe
superstitious.
his
Yeah,
pastor
yeah, yeah.
told him don't do it, or maybe had a conversation with people he respects in his immediate family, and they decided
Exactly.
he'd be better off staying. Or maybe he wants to get back at Napoli for treating him the way they did. But go
Look,
ahead, what you're saying.
it's all speculation, but just a little feeling. I think he likes like being in the headlines, and I think that might have what's turned. It looks like his image is very important to him, so I think that might have turned. So, but it also could be just a stalling tactic to be in the media, to be in the headlines for another week, and then he signs for Saudi anyway. So you never know. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But yeah, look, we don't know the inside details. I just watched the clip before I came on. I saw some Nigerian guy speaking to him on the phone. Not sure if you've seen that clip.
I don't want to
Uh,
watch it because probably just celebrities taking advantage of celebrities showing other
yeah, so there's a
Nigerians.
guy talking
Mhm.
to him on the phone live, and he's posted it on YouTube. Some influencer, I don't know, that's got millions of whatever, and he's basically telling, I don't know why Chelsea don't want to pay that money. So, okay,
Yeah.
well, I think we all know why Chelsea don't want to pay that money because it's it's not doable anymore these days. And
Yeah,
PSI
and
and
go
all,
ahead. Since you're at it, speak about that Osimhen's transfer saga from Chelsea's perspective, because the
yeah,
belief now is that he's waiting for Chelsea.
yeah. Look, I don't think that's the case. To be honest, I really don't think that's the case. There's no way Chelsea will pay anywhere close to the money he wants. And let's be clear, he's made it clear that he wants 250 a week and
Net.
net, which is 45% tax bracket in Britain. So do the maths, it's almost double. So that's 400 and whatever it is, 470 or whatever it is, 470 per week. He's not getting that at Chelsea. That is not happening. We're not in that stage to do that. Maybe in the future there might be in a stage, but I don't think you'll see those fees anymore, to be honest, in England. Quite that big. Has to be a very, very special player for that to happen. And I don't think Osimhen is worth, personally. I don't think there's people that might think he's worth that, but personally, I don't think he's worth quite that much to pay that much. But I mean, clubs will pay whatever they think a player is worth, and they'll, they if they think he's worth it, they'll pay it. But like I said, with PSR these days, with the tight budgets, basically that blows your whole entire on one player, your whole summer spending. It's him. That's it. No one else. You cannot sign anyone else. Basically, that's what that brings it to. So
And it doesn't make sense after signing Liam Delap. You sign him, basically Delap becomes will become number two. You don't pay that much money for a player like Osimhen, and then he'll be fighting for places
well,
for
no, no,
Osimhen.
no.
No.
He wouldn't be fighting for. If you sign him, he'll be number one. Of course, that's a given. That's definitely true. So I'm not worried about the lap if a better player comes in. I mean, that's for them to challenge it. The lap was an opportunity. He wasn't expensive, so if we sign another striker, he'll have to battle him and Jackson, and whoever's the best comes out on top. But if we sign like a Osimhen, that's 70 million plus you're getting £400 a week salary, well, he's automatically number one till he loses his spot. But
With the again, and he comes in with, you can say, a much better reputation than all of them combined, actually. So it just doesn't make sense in so many ways. If anything, we're looking to sign a striker in the mode of Nicholas Jackson.
yeah, it's more similar to Jackson that can do that. Yeah, because now we've got that physical guy as well, or like a Gyökeres, still like a Gyökeres, because he can do both as well. Just like Delap can do both. He can do the physical stuff, low block stuff, but he can also do the transition stuff, which Nicholas Jackson is very, very good at. We know that's his game. He's one of the best in that transition as a striker. So, uh, yeah, look, Osimhen can work, but I don't see Maresca would want an Osimhen, to be honest. I don't see him really would want that type. I just don't see it. I see more of someone else that can actually do that physical side, but also link up the play as well. And that's probably Osimhen's weakness is link up play. That's probably his one big weakness. He doesn't really do that. He doesn't get involved in that as much. It's not his game. He's more of a nine
No.
in the box stuff. He's a poacher. He's great in the air. He's got great shot. He's a more, number nine, not really an all-round number nine. Will give you that. Like Delap can play in transition and he's quick as well. Then, yeah, look, he's more of a box striker, which is fine. That's just his style. But I don't see that. I don't think we'll go. Basically, for the finances, first of all, that's number one. It's just not doable. And that completely upsets everyone in the dressing room if you bring a guy that's paid 4 times more than anyone there on highest already, basically. So financially for Chelsea doesn't make sense because you've blown all your budget probably now and the January transfer window for one player, maybe even for next year, depends how expensive it gets with agent fee and salary. So yeah, it just doesn't make financial sense, to be honest, to get him. Footballing a little bit, but even that, I'm a bit skeptical a little bit. If the lap wasn't there, maybe, but now that the lap's there as well, I think that makes it a little bit even harder, a bit more harder as well. But yeah, look, he's not going to agree to money that he doesn't. He even turned down Saudi for the money. So I'm not sure what's happening in the guy's head and his entourage, what's happening, but I have a sneaky feeling that it's probably got to him that he's been labeled a money getter, and that's been on the headlines. I saw he's going for the money, and I think that might have got to him. So he might have turned back and said, "Okay, hold on, I'm not taking that, and I'm just going to maybe stay in Europe." If there's
And
someone that
plus,
can offer me,
he's rich already.
yeah, he's rich already, and Galatasaray can offer him. See, the Galatasaray problem is they can offer him wages very close to that, and they can work around taxes because in
They
the
have
league there
money, yeah. They
they
have
can do.
money.
But the problem is with Galatasaray to play 70 million for him at Napoli. Now that's the problem. It's they don't buy players. They don't buy players for
Yeah.
big expensive fees. Yes, they get players on free transfers, all these, but they don't pay for them because they can't usually pay for them that much money. They'll look for opportunities and get players, ex-player, like older players that come and stuff, but they come for like 5 million, or they come for free, but they can give them a big salary because then there's no fee involved. But the problem is, I don't see how Galatasaray are able to. They'll be able to pay 70 million for him in the first place. So the salary they can probably do just directly, but not actually the fee and salary and agent fees. I think that's going to be hard for Galatasaray to do, to be honest. So yeah, there's not many teams that will pay him. He's going to have to reduce it if he's staying in Europe. So we'll see what happens. It's still a
Yeah.
saga. But like I said, I think he loves this and his team around him, and everyone loves it. He's number one on every trending place everywhere. Everyone's making money off it. So I think there's a bit of that involved as well.
But what I do not understand is, even those that should know better, that knows the possibility of him joining Chelsea is very slim. If they still going Chelsea, just make it happen. Just sign Osimhen. He's waiting for you. No, he's not waiting for Chelsea. I don't believe that's the case. That may well be the case, but in my opinion, it's simply not. That's simply not the case.
Neither in my
For
opinion.
reasons we know, we just can't offer him what he wants. And I don't see him rejecting Saudi to come take a pay cut and stay with Chelsea, sign a long-term contract. I don't see that happening. He
If we were
knows
going
where
to
he's
sign him,
going.
Coach, we would have signed him the first player in this transfer window straight away. If we were going
Exactly.
to sign him.
So only him knows where he's going. And for Mikel to come out and say Osimhen to Chelsea, he's given up. That's it.
Yeah. Look, like I
Mikel
told you,
probably knows where he's headed.
yeah, it's good gossip. It's good, makes
Mhm.
news. It makes all the influencers are onto it. When you put Chelsea Osimhen, it makes news and it's up there. It's trending. It makes money. It's a social media platform. It makes a lot of money. Everyone watches it. Okay, so that's why they're doing that. I know why it's pretty clear and obvious why they're doing that. It's popularity and making money off it as well.
Yeah. All right.
A
More
bit of
likes, people.
everything.
More likes. 20 likes. We can do a lot better than that. We still have 75 people following the show on YouTube. A total of 260, 375 on YouTube. The rest on X. Share between X and Facebook. Whether equally, I do not know. DJ saying I don't think Ekitike will happen either. According to latest report, Al Hilal are very much considering a move for Darwin Nunes. If they offer big money and Liverpool sell, they will go all out for Ekitike. I mean, Ekitike for me is not. Again, I don't think we're that desperate to get him. It's one that if we can beat Liverpool to get him and not have to go overboard to do that, I think we'll get him. But he's that type of player that I think in the future we'll look back and say, why didn't we get him? But I
Yeah,
don't want us to overspend. I'm not. I
it's all
don't
about
regret.
negotiating. They're not going to pay the 100 million they
Mm-mm,
want.
they
Chelsea's
wouldn't.
more comfortable paying 65 million or so. So they're just,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where it's at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. AB saying just like Mike Maignan, he has 1 year left on his contract. We can have both on loan for their last season and then sign them on a permanent. Yeah, but the clubs had their parent clubs, their current clubs both have to agree to let them go out on loan.
Exactly. It's not that easy.
Yeah, it's not that simple, really. We are still hurting from the Lukaku deal. We're like a victim. You could argue they milked the life out of us. If Osimhen runs down his contract, more clubs will approach him with better offers as long as they don't have to pay a
Yeah, exactly.
huge fee to Napoli. In the driving seat, he just needs to make the best decision. I think he moves this season. I mean, it's a good theory. That is the theory that he may well. The plan may well be to run down his contract and get back at Napoli. I don't think he'd go to that extent. It's a huge risk. I think if he does that, he's going to regret a lot. in my opinion. Chelsea can assign him for his wage demand, but that's if we sign him on loan for free. Okay, let's see what happens. A big risk of upsetting the rest of the squad at Chelsea. Palmer only, yeah, exactly. That's the biggest factor. One of the biggest factor is upsetting. Yeah, the weight structure we already have. That's why I've told people I don't see Chelsea making an exception. Even if we make an
Exactly. Yeah.
exception, he'd have to take a pay cut.
Look, I think players would understand if you're signing a superstar, like you're going to pay a lot
But
more.
not to the extent of him not signing a heavily incentivized contract. It has to be the same with the others.
Exactly. Yes.
Whether 400, 500, it has to be heavily incentivized.
Correct.
Otherwise, it creates a problem for the club. But go
Yeah,
ahead with
I'm
what you're
certain
saying.
Chelsea will offer him that contract if he's on 200,000 a week, but you'll earn 400,000 by the end of the season if you hit targets and we get to, blah blah quarterfinals, Champions League, we finish top 4, you hit 20 goals plus or whatever it is, then maybe. But he doesn't want that, so he thinks he's better than that. He doesn't want that. He thinks he's
Yeah.
earned. He obviously thinks, and it's fine. It's fair enough. He thinks he's earned that. That he doesn't have to prove that anymore. Well, the problem is it's Premier League. It's different. It's not the same as the other leagues. And he really hasn't scored that many goals. If you look at record, even the only one season he scored over 20 goals in that when they won, I think, with Napoli. But other than that, it was more 15, 18. So, I mean, he's fair to want that. He can ask for that, but our club's going to give him that? I don't
No,
think so.
the long term implications it carries much bigger risk.
Yeah, especially when you have to sign him on a 5-year deal and
Yeah.
pay 70 million for him as well as a fee and then agent fees. Yeah, it gets very, very complicated then. Yeah. So yeah.
It just doesn't make sense in so many ways, honestly. But if we have the lab Osimhen and Jackson, we can always start 2 out of 3 of them. But it's not happening really. Vic says, Dante, if Osimhen rejected Al Hilal for an all-out important Club World Cup, then it's over. Saudi teams work together on the PIF so that 40 million a year offer is gone. Osimhen will join any European club that offers 290, and probably he knows that already. We cannot base our judgment on last season. Maresca might want instances where he can play 4-3-3, starting with 3 midfielders. A possibility. And 2 central attacking midfielders. Galatasaray, okay, you must be a Galatasaray supporter, and it looks like Osimhen he may well stay there. I think they can pull it off. Probably they were the ones that convinced him to stay because
loan,
the
they
sort
can.
of impact he's made in their club is something special. I think
Yeah, on
the
loan, he
last
can
was
definitely stay there
Didier
on loan.
Drogba.
But they can't buy him. But they can stay there on loan if he stays another season and runs down his contract, like you said. But it keeps running down his contract, stay on loan. But otherwise, they can't buy him and then pay those wages as well. That they won't be able to do.
It's complicated, really. This Osimhen saga shows a clear difference between the Chelsea old and Chelsea new, and the old clubs and new clubs. How many clubs in Europe are interested? Yeah, a lot of clubs don't want to do that anymore. Okay. Uche, but thank you. I'm not able to read what you have
Oh,
on the
sorry,
screen
we
there.
don't
I
understand
don't.
Turkish.
Sorry.
We don't understand Turkish,
No, I don't
unfortunately.
understand Turkish. Osimhen still has a whole year to line up bidders, but nobody. He's not going to get anything close to what the Saudis are offering from Europe. Okay. Oof. All right. We cannot offer him what he wants, Coach. What does Osimhen want? We don't know. But here's the thing. We've heard that the reason why we weren't able to get the deal across the line last summer was that what he was asking base after tax was the issue, and he didn't want the heavily incentivized salary, according to what we heard. Do I listen? The possibility is still there as long as he still hasn't signed for any other club. And was certain he's never going to play for Napoli again. You could argue as long as Antonio Conte is still their manager, he's not going to welcome him back.
No, he's
So
not playing in Napoli. That's for sure.
yeah,
No chance.
exactly.
No
So
chance.
yeah, the possibility is still there, but do I think it ever happens? I don't see a world where it happens, and that's my opinion. Ekitike has a profile and qualities that Osimhen and the lab cannot provide. We should still get Ekitike. Do I think that happens? I don't know, but we'll see. Maignan, nice to see you. It's like Nico or Isaac. Okay. The two Victors, transfer is not straightforward. Nope. The other Victor seems like more like he's in the purgatory, but I'm hearing that he could be on his way to Manchester United to work under his former boss. No one is really sure where they are going. And guys, remember, what we need is a striker that can bang in goals. Only two victors can do that. But after signing the lab, I don't think we're signing any of the victors. I don't think so. And that's my opinion. But nice to see you, Jude Messerle, the CEO of Chelsea FC Jingles. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, brother. Osimhen doesn't just think he's elite. He's elite. Yeah, I mean, you can believe that. But he knows he is elite. Maybe that's what you would have preferred Dante to say. What football knows he's elite. He earned it. He can do whatever he wants. There are players he's way better than on 300 and 350.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's
Like,
true. But I
there,
want
there, there
something
are
I'll add to
plenty of
that.
them at Manchester United. Mason Mount
Exactly.
earns more than him
United,
right now, I think.
there's some other clubs. There's plenty of them, coach. But the problem, if he was that elite, Real Madrid need it. They can go for him. Barcelona's, Bayern Munich's, the big clubs will go after Man City. There's so many clubs that would, but they're not. None of them are going after him. So it's
Maybe
clearly
it's
not
it's a
that
profile
elite.
thing, maybe.
Yeah, and that as well. But he's clearly not quite that elite because other clubs would be in for him as well. And there just isn't any. I mean, he ended up in Galatasaray on loan. That should tell you a lot. I mean, to
All
me,
right,
that
let's
says
see
a
what else we
lot.
have here. Keep
There
dropping
was
the
no
likes
other
in between.
option.
The likes that do go a long way. And EOZ says Gala has the money to both buy and pay those wages. What they
No.
don't have is the patience to wait any longer for a decision. For him to have rejected the fact that he rejected the Saudis, I think probably he's going to stay there.
Coach, just
Doesn't fit
add to that
into
one.
our wage structure. It's really that simple, really. But I
Just
don't
to
know why a lot of Chelsea fans aren't seeing what we have on the screen right now.
just to
Why do
respond
they?
to
I don't
Aussie,
know why people believe that Osimhen is actually waiting for Chelsea. He's not.
and
In
Chelsea are not waiting
terms
for him
of the
either.
possibility of signing Osimhen, that door is closed, especially after the signing of Liam Delap. It's really that simple. But here's the thing. I'm not saying certainly that's the case. I'm just letting you know that's my opinion. But go ahead, Dante. You were saying something.
Sorry, I thought you were finished and you kept going. So sorry, I kept cutting in.
No worries. Go ahead.
Just to respond to EOZ there, Galatasaray's biggest signing ever was 17, I think, million euros. That was back Jardel, if you remember Jardel from Porto, like years ago, long time ago. If I remember right, that was their biggest record signing. So they've never paid more than 15 million pounds ever for a player. So you're telling me they're going to play 70? They don't have those finances to pay that. I don't think they have those finances to pay that. The salary just like that, yeah, maybe for another year or two, but not the actual fee and then the taxes that come with that as well in Turkey and all the other stuff, agent fees. They do not have that money, and that's proven. They've never bought a player that expensive. Like I said, Jardel was back. I can't remember what year that was in, but that was like I think 10 years ago. That was like that's it. I think I don't think they've. Oh no, they signed a player. Just looking up now, they signed some Brazilian last year for 18 million euros. That's the new biggest. It's the record signing ever is 18 million euros, 15 million pounds. So yeah, I don't think, and that's a young Brazilian kid. That looks like a young Brazilian kid with, I think, very, very, very low wages. So they cannot afford to buy Osimhen for 70 million off Napoli. I just don't think that's the case.
All right, more likes, people, more likes. Coach, it's insulting to ask Osimhen to reduce his 290k wage, but Weeds
Insulting.
is moving for 350k a week to Liverpool. Mamouche is close to 300k, and Havertz is on 295k. Stop insulting. I'm not asking. I haven't asked him to take a
What is
pay
he on
cut.
about,
I'm
Vic?
just explaining. I'm just telling people that one of the reasons why he's never going to come to Chelsea is his salary. And
Well,
if I were Osimhen, I wouldn't take a pay cut, even if I loved Chelsea when I
of
was
course.
still in my mother's womb. To heck with that.
Yeah, but
I'm
he doesn't want 290. I don't know what Vic is on about.
yeah.
That he doesn't want 290. He wants 250 net.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
not
So
that is
and
not
I don't
290.
care. It's not my business how much he's asking for.
No, but I'm saying just because that's for me, that's wrong information. That looks like we're not. What I think we would pay close to that, but he wants it's more like 475K per week. Not even none of those players you see there, Haaland, all those big words, 350. He's way over those as well. He's like he wants to be the highest ever. So there's a bit of it's not 290 per week. It's 250 net per week, which is around 475. 475 per week in England. It's a 45% tax bracket. £475,000 per week. That's what he wants. So no, it's not
Honestly, again,
290.
we've established that's after tax. Then it'd be 250. That's for me. I don't care. I have no right to say that's a lot of money, but it's going to cost us a lot of problems long term, actually. But that's by the way, I get your point there, and I'm with you. But here's the thing: if Real Madrid sell us Rodrigo, they will go for Osimhen, but they are considering for a free transfer market. That chances are they've probably reached out to him and want to get him out. We don't know what's going on, but only he knows where his future lies.
That would be
I
all
don't
over
know.
the place. He'll be on every Nigerian thing on X, all over the place. If Real Madrid approached him, I don't think that's true. I haven't seen it.
And I'm
Absolutely
no, no,
no.
no. You wouldn't know because they know how to tap up players. We don't. I'm just saying. Here's the my point. I'm not saying that that's the case. You never know. My point is only he knows where he's headed to. I don't know. Honestly, he knows his next club now. The Lab is not an experienced striker, so we need Osimhen, who is way better. The Lab for EPL and Osimhen for Champions League. Let me ask you this. Okay, if you say we need him, fine. Can we afford him? That's the question a lot of Chelsea fans are asking. And even if you're saying the Lab isn't experienced, that's our thing. The so-called inexperienced players, but with huge potential, that's who we want. If you
Yeah,
get the point.
I wanted Messi and Ronaldo in their primes to sign for Chelsea too, but it didn't happen. So I
Yeah,
don't.
can we afford him? No. They
No.
raised the fees via sponsors. It was done 3 months ago. Okay, let's see what happens here. All the elite clubs that Dante mentioned don't need a striker. I think it's not a fair assessment. Okay, let's see what else we have here. If he's going to say no, we might as well sign another player. I think we're done. We're not going to sign Osimhen.
That's
We
why we're in
gave up.
negotiations with Ekitike already.
Yeah.
They've moved
For
on
two.
from Osimhen ages ago.
For 290 after taxes, it's 450K to 500 a week. That's a lot of money. And I think another issue is that he's not open to the heavily incentivized salary structure. Madrid have Mbappe, Bayern have Harry Kane, Barca have Lewandowski. Mbappe isn't that type of striker. Mbappe is different.
Mbappe can play on the left, on the right, doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Uh,
It's
Man
not a
City
big
have
deal.
Haaland. His situation is dramatic. That's probably why he's not needed. Maybe it's a profile thing. Possibly a profile thing. Yeah. We didn't know about Rudiger and Real Madrid until it was too late. All right. Then to stop giving people inaccurate information. Osimhen wages okay at 290 at Napoli. How the club does that, it's not my business, but Osimhen has never asked any European club to pay him more. You don't know that. All right. By the way, let's move on to the next topic. Keep dropping the lines
Let
for
me
this
answer
new
to
people.
Vic, coach. Sorry. Different taxes, different countries, different tax rates. First of all, it's very different from Naples. So it's not the same tax brackets. It's very different in England. A lot of the Commonwealth countries, the tax brackets are very high. In Australia, it's exactly the same as England. We follow the same model. A lot of the Commonwealth countries are the same. So when you pay nearly 50% tax at that bracket, it's a big difference. So yeah, no, it's a lot more for him to sign in England. It's very different. It's not the same as signing in Naples. It's a very, very different. But he's public. He said that he's put that out that that's his salary, his agent, and that's what he wants. He's not budging from that salary. Simple as that. Now, if you come to England with that exact salary, well, you're almost doubling that because the 45% tax bracket. So it's proper information. It's not nothing. It's there for everyone to see. I'm no accountant, but
Or
that's
maybe
pretty
he
easy.
just wants to fight you.
Yeah, well, I see Jay saying big up down to the accountant. I'm not an accountant, but it's just simple maths. It's there for everyone. You
Not
don't have to pay
necessarily
the
simple.
accountant.
It's something you understand. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
irrespective of the calculation and where it ends, I think the salary is the issue. It's as simple as that.
But
Let's
I
move
think
on.
it's been announced everywhere and it's been shown everywhere to so many fans. It's been everywhere that that's what he wants, and that's how much the tax is in England, and that's what the salary then will amount to. But people keep saying no, it's only 200. Why can't Chelsea pay him 250 a week?
Yeah,
They're still
Ivy,
not
big up
getting
to
there.
you. I appreciate you. Heston, the whole point is Osimhen to Chelsea isn't happening for multitude of reasons. More importantly, his salary, and Chelsea have moved on, and the signing of the lap seals that, irrespective of how you see it. He'd consider staying permanently at Galatasaray if they pay closer to his 75 million release clause and offer a competitive salary of 10 million net a year. He's happy there. That may well happen. Let's see. They're asking us even to reduce his wages because he is on 290k euro at the moment. I don't know. Okay, let's move on from that topic because before it becomes back and forth. Juventus, PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United have been linked, though Juventus is unlikely due to Napoli's clause restriction. Ooh, good information right there. I think I've talked about his possible move to Juventus without actually knowing that such exists. But so thank you, good information. I appreciate that. Dante the accountant, big up to all of you. I'm just going to say hello
Yeah,
to
yeah.
people, and then we switch to the next topic before this becomes a back and forth. Let's see what else we have here. Osimhen would fit Chelsea like a glove. Wish we could get him. That's just what you believe. The manager will have to change his approach to accommodate him. He declined a final Saudi Al Hilal offer worth 30 to 35 million a year net, citing his preference for Europe. Okay. And Chelsea King is saying if we don't get Mike this window, I believe we will get him yeah, as a free agent. That may well happen because he wants to join us. Okay, they proposed around 30. I think we've addressed that. Jay, nice to see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for finding the time to join us. Simple maths. Ask coach.
Don't skip Vic code. Why are you skipping Vic code? Don't skip him.
Why I don't like the back and forth. It's
It-
become a case of who's right, who's wrong. But
it's
he's
not.
saying
Well, yeah.
it's 45% tax rate in Serie A and
No, it's
about
not.
the same in the UK, Dante. But you don't have to add the part that says again, stop misinforming people. I don't think that part is necessary. Dante, there you go. Since you want to respond,
That's what he likes to do all the time. But no, it's not 45% in Serie A or Italy, not Serie A. First of all, it's 43%. But the tax, I actually know quite a bit about it because I've been to Italy quite a lot of times. My wife's family all live in Italy, so I know how it works pretty well. We had a lot of arguments about the tax system there when I was there. It was just some conversation, so I do know quite a lot about it. Tax is very different in Italy. It's based per household, per family. It's not based per individual. So there's a lot of ways you can get around it. So it's very, very different from any tax system in a Commonwealth country like England, Australia, the US. It's very, very different. The tax system is very weird in Italy, but it's easily to navigate as well. It's done for a reason like that. That's just the way it is. It's a very old school system. So yeah, it's not nowhere near the close how we would be in. They can get around it so easily, and he would get paid a lot more money. It's very different. He will not be able to do that in the Premier League, and especially in England. In the UK, you cannot do that. In the Commonwealth countries, you're not going to get away with that. It's tax is very tight, and it's very marshaled very strictly. So, like I said, look it up if you want, Vic. But you can see it's per family. There's a lot of loopholes, and it's per family per household. So, for example, if Victor goes into a mansion he buys in Italy and has 40 members in the house, divide the tax amongst them, well, it's very different then, isn't it? So, yes, like I said, I do know quite a bit about it. So I can claim to be a bit of an accountant about that one because, like I said, with the family, I had a lot of interaction with it because I found it quite interesting. So, yeah, you can say it's a little bit corrupt in a way, the way it is in Italy, because you can work around it a lot, but not in the UK. You cannot do that in England. No chance, not even close.
All right, thank you for that. Let's move on from that. Enough of the mathematics before I go to bed.
Sorry, coach.
No,
I
no
just had
worry.
to
You're
say
good.
that. Yeah.
All right, ask me, ask Jay. But Jay, nice to see you once again. I do hope you're doing well. Dortmund signed Job. Coach, remember when I suggested Chelsea? Rumors were that we were interested in signing him at the time also. Arsenal, and probably in 2 seasons or so, they'd be asking for 200 million euros. PSG were seen to accommodate around 250k a week,
Yeah, we
but
can pay
not
that.
net. If you have
Not
to be
net.
honest, not net. Manchester United sources mentioned a wage ask around 413k pounds for who? When Osimhen moves for far less wages, I will come back. I don't think he will move for far less wages. I don't see that happening. Don't let it go. Bring the fight when it's time. But let's move on to the next topic. I came here to relax my brain, and all
Time
I
will
see is
tell.
numbers.
Only time will
Blame,
tell.
blame Dante and Vic. Go ahead, Dante.
I'm just saying, time will tell. Will eventually this saga will come to an end, but who knows when? But time will tell what he accepts, where he goes, and what's true or not. Because, like you said, we don't exactly know. The only thing we know, his agent did put out that that's how much he wants, and he's not taking less than that. So that's factual information we know. The only information we know. The rest, we know that Al Hilal gave him that offer because they put it up as well. He hasn't accepted that offer, so that's all we know. The rest, where he's going or what he's going to do, we don't know.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. I think Jay win this argument. 2 + 2 is equal to 4. We move on.
Yeah, of course.
Simplify it, and we're good. All right, next item here. Mike Maignan. Mike Maignan wants to complete a move to Chelsea and has told AC Milan that he will not be remaining. He will not be renewing his deal with the club. There's now an ultimatum: sell me now or lose me on a free transfer in 12 months. I think they have no option than to sell him. But I get it. The argument that Vic presented the other day, that from AC Milan's perspective, if they believe they can keep him and get more value out of him than sell him for how much we're willing to pay, they keep him. Clubs do that. Sometimes clubs risk not selling a player, keep that player, and lose them on a free. It depends on how much they need that player. But in this case, I think they will sell him. What I think will happen, they may well ask for one of our goalkeepers, either a loan with an option to buy. But I think Maignan to Chelsea will happen, and I like what we're doing. We're not bending over for them, just like a lot of Chelsea fans would have wanted the club to do. Just pay the money and run. It's Mike Maignan we're talking about here, world-class player, especially Helgi. Helgi on Helgi on X. Jesus Christ, I don't know what Helgi has turned into. My goodness. He wants the club to just pay the 25 million and thank you. You don't do that when the player has just about a year left on his contract and wants to join you, which means you get that player for a bargain, irrespective of how good that player is. As long as they have just about a year, as long as their contract is winding down, just about a year plus, they want to leave, and they've told the club they want to leave, and specifically they want to join you. Why drop 25 million on the table? It just wouldn't make sense. But let's hear you, Dante. What do you make of it? And if you're in the chat, Mike Maignan to Chelsea, I think it's gonna happen. Some outlets, I think it's Rudy Galetti. He's saying that actually what's his name? He's basically saying that Mike Maignan to Chelsea will be announced soon, that the deal is practically done. Maignan ball playing ability is excellent. A great demo yesterday. But what I want to ask Dante, I haven't paid attention to him very well. How about his shot stopping and everything?
Just like Jay
And
said,
do you think the deal will happen?
yeah, look, like Jay says, that it's top notch. His ball distributing is top notch. He's very good with the ball at his feet. That's not a problem. That's why we're looking at him, obviously, because he can do that very well. His shot stopping is very good, very, very good. Not quite as good, in my opinion, like Sanchez. Sanchez has got a much longer reach, so that's why probably as well. His reflexes are very good, but they're not top notch either. He's a bit slower. He's not like Jorgensen, for example. His reflexes are much quicker than Maignan. But when you look overall, obviously he's got the experience. He's got the great feet work, great with the ball. is solid in all the other departments. So when you put them all together, yeah, he makes a very, very good keeper for Chelsea because he can do all those things.
You could
Like I
argue,
said,
more
Jorgen's
importantly, better concentration.
he's a bit more concentration, a bit better. Although he's made some mistakes as well. He's not perfect. You can look
But
at it.
not like four in the entirety of the season. I think
Yeah,
for single season. I think I did see the comparison
he's done a
of his
couple this
errors
season
with that
already.
of Robert Sanchez. Sanchez made four in one season. He made four in 4 seasons.
Yeah, yeah. He made, I think, two were this season. So yeah, so he doesn't make that many mistakes. He's pretty clean normally. Uh, so yeah, his concentration level's much better. You can see that. Uh, Look, he's a very good all-round solid keeper that ticks the boxes for Chelsea. What we're looking for the system we play. He's a perfect keeper for that system we play. Like I said, so he's got it. Like I said, the best of Jorgensen there, a bit of the best from Midanches. They've all got their strengths, but when you put it all together, Maignan overall is probably the more solid keeper overall now. Obviously, he's 20, he's older, he's 30 basically. So,
And
and he's got
goalkeepers do age like fine wine.
exactly. So he's got that. He's got the IQ. He's pretty smart as well. So he's a perfect keeper for the way Maresca plays. Is a perfect keeper for that. So that's why we're looking at him, and it's a great opportunity to get in a player like that. And yeah, of course, we have to negotiate. We're not the club we were before. People have to remember that we're not that anymore. We do business.
Even under Roman,
Yeah,
we started looking for players that are free agents or players we can get for cheap or players we can take on loan
yeah.
and then buy them on a permanent letter. That started happening under Roman.
At the back end, but before that,
Yeah.
at the beginning or the middle of Roma, no, it didn't happen. He just paid whatever clubs wanted. It didn't matter. It just there was no negotiation. They just pretty much bought because it was different then. The rules were different. It started to tighten up at the end, yeah, as well. Of course, he knew it was coming. He was tightening up. Even he couldn't not do what he used to do. He could not do it if he was still in charge of Chelsea today. Under these rules, he could not do that anymore. So
No, he couldn't. No.
yeah, look, perfect keeper for their system. Great keeper. I like him. He's got the experience. Plays for national teams. He's a starter for France. Exactly what we're looking for. It's a great opportunity. So we're negotiating. I agree. I think he'll probably be done in the next couple of days. I'm 100% probably he'll probably be done. And like you said, Rudy Galletti and a couple of them already said he's pretty much done. I think for 18 million from what I saw, they've kind of reached, I think from what I saw, 18 million euros. So yeah, they've kind of met halfway, which I knew probably will happen uh, because they probably know, like you said, the directors know that he only wants Chelsea, and if not, they're going to lose him for a free. They don't want to lose him on a free.
Yeah.
Italian clubs will not want to lose him on a free, so there might not be other people interested, which is very interesting. That's something I really find interesting, that there's no other teams interested in him, which is a bit weird in a way.
I mean, probably if clubs hear that his preference would
Preference.
be to join Chelsea, why waste your time?
That
I
is
know
the
some of them
only
will probably give it a shot.
that is the only logical conclusion I came to as well. He said he only wants Chelsea, and then no clubs, they're all backed off and waiting for us, basically.
Because like Vic said the other day, if another club joins the race, everything changes.
Exactly. He's not expensive because he's not expensive for a world class keeper. And I do put him as a world class keeper because he's starting for France, starting for a top team in Europe. He's a world class keeper, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's interesting that no other team's gone for him for that price. I mean, there's quite a lot of teams that can do with a keeper of his caliber. So, it's very interesting. I'm not sure why that is, but we'll find out soon exactly why.
Arsenal clearly didn't go for him because they were looking for a backup goalkeeper and probably more specifically, you could argue a backup goalkeeper that's an expert at stopping penalties, and they got that in Kepa Arrizabalaga. Okay,
Yeah,
for context, let's read the comment. And if you're in the comment section, we want to let's hear your thoughts on Maignan joining Chelsea. Vic and Chelsea, they still going at each other for the tax thing. You guys enjoy yourselves. Mike Mayer wants to complete a move to Chelsea and has told AC Milan that he will not be renewing his deal with the club. There is now an ultimatum: sell me now or lose me on a free. That is key, and I think we've talked about that 1,000 times. He will end up again leaving as a free agent if they risk not selling him now, which I've always believed. The moment I heard that, I was happy, and I said, yeah, definitely Chelsea are not going to pay too much for him. And I think Chelsea will be ready to say bye, Felicia, if they try to, you can say, milk us. You could argue the reason probably they're asking a lot more. They're aware right now that we're looking. That our intention is to get the deal done so that he go plays for us in the Club World Cup. But that's, by the way, Mike Maignan is better than what we currently have. I think Dante perfectly did put how they differ. You can argue that Sanchez is a much better shot stopper. I didn't open the data MB window quickly. If I try to do it now, it might lead to. But when Dante starts speaking, I'll try to do it. It might lead to the system shutting down. I don't want to risk that. It did some crazy stuff yesterday. And we might start using StreamYard again because it has the on-screen display of the comments. Okay. Look into the growth of Osimhen is complying. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't. I've moved on. If we had Mike Maignan last season, our story might have been different, considering we finished 5 points behind Arsenal. I wouldn't say the reason that happened was down to bad goalkeeping. If anything, Sanchez, as bad as he was, actually, there are some games when you revisit how they ended. Yet, actually, I agree. He's one of the reasons why we finished in the top 5.
Exactly.
As
He
bad
saved
as
us a lot of points. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So as bad as he was, give him credit, and he finished very well. Let's see. Jay says in some of his comps, I noticed he gets beaten.
Yeah.
He gets beaten
Exactly.
on near post shot, and I
Reach.
think that happened in the semifinals game actually, also.
It
But Dante,
happened in
let's
the
say
recent
what you
game.
have to say about that.
Yeah, it happened in recent game. That's one of his weaknesses. Like I said, his reach is not as long, so he will struggle to get the ones that are more in the corners. And we saw a great example was that this game they played recently. He got twice beaten like that. So he hasn't got that reach or that quick explosive reflexes like Jorgensen has. So he might some of those if those shots are there, like Sanchez might pull a couple of those saves off. Maignan probably won't get to those. He hasn't got that long reach and that height, but especially his reach, just like Sanchez has. So that's why Sanchez can get to that. But like I said, overall, if you put everything, he's still he's a very perfect goalkeeper for Maresca's system because he's very good on
And
other
given
things
that
that are
he's more experienced than the ones we have, and
yeah.
he's won a lot of, you could say he has trophies to back up his pedigree.
Correct. He's got the pedigree, 100%. And look, his shot stopping is still very, very good. But I'm just saying it's not the best. That's all. He can get beaten, and just like Jay said, that he can get beaten at the post because his reach is not quite as long as
Is
Sanchez.
it
So
is it a lot?
I think it's like I can't remember the exact, like one hand almost, something like that. Which is a lot.
People,
It is a lot. Like if you want to say
yeah.
that's that can be a lot. But he's much taller, Sanchez, I think, by a couple of inches, if I remember right, as well. So, but he's got those
Okay,
long,
let's see how they compare. This guy, I think I
Sanchez
was
has got those
able.
really long, lanky arms. Where if you see Maignan, he hasn't got long arms. He hasn't got that reach. That's what I say. When I say reach, his wingspan. He hasn't got that big wingspan. Where when he opens up his arms to the side, they're not as long as Sanchez. So Sanchez can reach some of those balls where Maignan won't.
Yeah, I'm not sure why these guys they don't have Jorgensen for 24-25 Chelsea. All what we have there, let's see, Jorgensen. Yep, Villarreal 22-24 Villarreal B. 20 no, that's 22-23 Villarreal B. 23-24. No Chelsea record for him. The
Wow.
Data MB don't have that. I'm not sure why that's the case. Okay, let's look at what they have here. Ooh, okay. Shot pass accuracy. Mike Maignan is in blue. Green is Petrovic. And pink is Robert Sanchez. Okay. Yeah, his ball playing is elite. Better in terms of short passes, long passes, much better. Petrovic beats him in overall passes. I think volume.
Volume.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, in volume. Yeah. But in terms of accuracy, he beats them both. You can say the disparity.
Yeah.
Let's look at it where the numbers are and see how short pass accuracy he is at 64 No, he is at 85.6%. Robert
Yeah, he's elite.
Sanchez,
Yep.
3.7. Yeah, he beats them hands down. Long pass accuracy, he's at 36 point something. He beats them and everything passes.
Yeah, look, he's the perfect keeper for the system, like I said, and he's a perfect keeper for Jorgensen to back up and learn from, because, in my opinion, they're both elite at ball playing. I love the way Jorgensen plays, but he's still quite young. He's 22. He hasn't got the other stuff, and I think that would be a perfect match to have a backup to learn off Maignan. It's perfect for Jorgensen. I think that'll be a really good match. Yeah.
And you're very correct. Robert Sanchez is a much better. No, Petrovic is a much better shot stopping of all the goalkeepers, followed by Robert Sanchez. They're both much better shot stopping goalkeepers than
Maignan, yeah.
Maignan. Defensive actions a lot more from Robert Sanchez.
But the only
Wow.
reason Petrovic is that high, coach, because Strasbourg, they're under pressure a lot. So the way they play,
So
the
he's
others,
tested quite a lot.
yeah, he's tested a lot, so that's always going to be higher. But he's a very good shot stopper, Petrovic. Definitely, I think he would be better, probably maybe slightly from what I've seen. Strasbourg, he might be slightly better than Maignan as well at shot stopping.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you talking about that. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and we have Shantanu GGG. Okay. Interesting name. I think we differ with Milan's expectations in terms of add-ons. I think probably if add-ons is the issue, probably they will work it out. If add-ons is where again is the reason that the whole thing, if add-ons are the hold up to the negotiations process, they will eventually get it done. Not a big issue. Big up, Ty. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join us this particular morning. You know what to do. What else do we have here? We have prophecy. Who cares? Okay. Who cares what you're doing too? And thank you for joining the conversation and providing value to the community. What else we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 31 likes. And 63 people still following the show on YouTube. A total of 317, 63 on YouTube. The rest is shared between X and Facebook. Whether equally, I do not know. But if you're following the show on X, kindly do us a favor. Take a second, drop a like on the video, share the video, and follow our X account to help us get to 6,000 followers as soon as possible. If you're following the show on Facebook, do us a favor. Please take a second, drop a like on the video, and follow our Facebook account. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Rain. Nice to see you, Rain. I don't have my umbrella here. I do hope you're doing well. Vic provided an update here. Breaking news: Ryan Chucky to Manchester United. Here we go. In place, club to club after direct contact. One player I really wanted Chelsea to sign. Even before I heard Thierry Henry talk about him. And that what I heard from Chelsea fans is that, yeah, he has attitude issue. That comes with the territory of being as good as Ryan Chucky. Maybe because we have Estevao Will and Cole Palmer, we don't need him now. But I wanted him. And the complaint was that he has attitude issue. Yeah, he's good enough. And watch him become the most behaved player in the Premier League under Pep within the club. But as his lifestyle remains his lifestyle. Dang it. He's going to cook for Pep. Chucky will cook for Pep Guardiola. Honestly. But he's gone there. I'm not going to cry for it.
Not so sure, coach.
Okay, remember you said this, and I remember I told you he would cook for Pep.
Yeah, I think he'll use him sparingly. He won't be able to playing. He won't suit the Premier League very much, as in to be a starter in every game. Like I said, he doesn't do zero defensive work, so that's going to be a problem. Once he gets, I'm sure Pep will try to coach that into him a little bit, but he'll use him correctly. He won't need him as defensive or so. You might see him come on a lot, but I don't think. Yeah, I just don't see him starting a lot of games and being that guy for them. I personally don't see it, to be honest.
I really, really like him, honestly.
Yeah, I like him too. I love his technical, like the way he
Oh my
plays.
goodness,
He's
what a
fun to
player!
watch, but we had a player that was fun to watch too, and that was his name was Felix as well. So there's quite there is players like that that have all the ability in the world, but they have a lot of stuff lacking, which is needed to really take it to the next level. So it will be interesting to see if he can do that. Like I said, I don't no technical problems, not a problem. Shooting, he's very, like I said, he's very skillful, but the attitude problems that he's had, and also the defensive work, zero defensive work, and laziness on the field. How will that transform to the Premier
I mean,
League?
he's still very young and can improve in that aspect. Who would have known
Exactly, and
that
that's
Madueke towards the end of the season would improve his defensive contributions? His thing,
yeah, that's a
Chucky for
winger though.
me,
It's different.
yeah,
It's
he's that
not the
sort
same.
of player that coaches wouldn't mind to accommodate and find a way to mitigate the issue of him not contributing defensively.
I think it's a big risk, and I think someone that can take a big risk like
I
that.
mean, teams do it all the time.
Yeah, but when I talk a big risk, I'm talking a massive risk, and that's why only Man City are doing that risk, because they're not paying for Man City. 30 million is nothing. So
All right, let's catch up here before we go to the next topic. Chucky, okay, I don't care where Osimhen goes. I hate when people say he should reduce his wage. That's not okay. That's not okay in any way. And them calling him because he wants, even if he wants, if in fact he does want a lot more. Just doesn't make sense. If you want him match his current wages, yeah, at least it's simple. And I don't think he comes to Chelsea. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I know the argument will linger for a while. What else do we have here? Hit the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Ty, thank you for triggering that action. Sincerely do appreciate that. More likes, people. More likes. Let's get the likes up. We're still at 33 likes. We still have 46 people watching. We can do a lot better than that. Chelsea signed Sa on an 8-year contract. We'll get to that in a bit. It's one of the items we have lined up here. Providing value to community. Yeah, exactly. We don't just come. We'll let you talk. The mistake I made was highlighting his comment. I would have just scrolled past it. He'd be there and count with like one of those in the chat. That's it. That's why I don't block people in most cases. You'd have to start insulting people before I say, yeah, that's it. No worries, no worries. I can deal with it. Ty says, yeah, another Sa, but this Sa is a serious baller, really. It hurts me because we could have gotten him. Chucky will fit the Premier League. I believe so too, honestly. But Dante thinks otherwise, and he said he doesn't believe he's going to rip the trees in the atmosphere, and I think he will. But we'll get there. An artistic player on the Pep, an artistic player actually with substance. He's gonna cook, and probably Pep was in pursuit of was pursuing weights, but the moment he realized Chucky is available, he said, "Nah, bye Felicia, I'm going for this." Could have gotten him 2 years ago. Yep, that was when we started discussing him on this channel. Pep will kill Chucky and make him a robot, just like Grealish. I think Grealish doesn't have much beyond, doesn't have a lot, in my opinion, in his game. Chucky, you cannot kill Chucky because that's exactly what defines him as a player, that artistry, in my opinion. But we'll see.
That's a good comparison to Grealish, because Grealish, very skillful technical player. He did that for a year really well, but then he fell out of favor, starting to get worse and worse because, again, he doesn't do the defensive side of the ball. He doesn't do nothing, doesn't give you nothing else except that wizardry with the ball, just dribbling around. It worked for a while, but then even he, he's going to be moved on as well now. He hasn't worked for the last, couple of years.
He's
This year,
not even
sorry.
going to
So,
the Club World Cup with them.
yeah, look, I don't
So
know, but hopefully, I like Turkey. Hopefully, he works out. Well, actually, I hope he doesn't work out because we don't want Man City to be good. But yeah, I'm leaning just towards that. It might not work out. It might look good for a little bit, but I don't see it long term to work out.
Okay.
Personal opinion, of course.
No, that we need that disclaimer, but that's by the way, we will revisit that someday. But it's his gun. But that's by the way, we have Bobby on the panel, the senior panelist here. Let's hear from Bobby. It's important. I had to go back because I know I've seen on X that he has a lot. He does have a lot to say about where Osimhen ends up. He even
Oh no,
tagged
I'm going for a
Chelsea.
shower now. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
All right. He even tagged Chelsea directly on a post. I want to hear his fury, or if
Maybe
he
make that an
thinks.
hour, coach. I'll be back in an hour.
All right, all right. He he,
I'm joking. I'm
he,
joking. Relax.
he thinks the possibility is still there. I want to know how that is even possible. Kachila, one player Chelsea should sign it this summer is Carlos Baliba. What about this kid is something else. Okay. So Bobby, big up to you
Yep.
and thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Osimhen, he said no to Saudi Arabia, so which means he's still available.
Hmm.
I still think he will end up remaining at Galatasaray. That they're the only club that what if we're to believe what was out there a few days ago, they're the only ones willing to pay anything close to what the Saudis offered him. But your thoughts, if you think it's still possible that he joins Chelsea, I'd like you to break it down to us so that we can understand it. But I don't see that possibility for plenty of reasons. Well, let's hear you before, if I have any response to what you have to say, then you hear from me.
Yeah, big up, guys.
Big up to you too.
Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, we had this conversation slightly yesterday, and I pointed out that look, in decades of watching football, supporting Chelsea, and seeing things evolve, one common denominator in all those years is that one, football is a game of all possibilities. It never ends until the whistle blows. You Americans will say it's never over till the fat lady sings. One thing we've learnt in recent times about transfers is a transfer isn't complete until you see the player holding the shirt up, or taking the dummy photographs of them signing a contract at the club. Osimhen has said nothing about where he's going. He's only said where he's not going, and that's Al Hilal. Um, there is no secret of his like for Chelsea. I'm not saying he's going to come to Chelsea, but it's quite curious. This is a man that, contrary to what you've said, Coach, he's turned down generational, staggering money, which means it's not just about money for him. And this is somebody coming from a developing nation and being a somewhat more deprived person within that nation. If it was all about money, he would have said bye, Felicia, using your terms, to his career and walked off to the bank with Al Hilal and served his community, himself, his family for generations to come. But no, I told you yesterday, this is a man that, like most men, will consider his legacy in life. He's been blessed with a talent that's brought him to the world stage. I don't think he wants to waste that talent. You know, the career of a footballer is short, and of a top level footballer is even shorter. Very few people will ever achieve the giddy heights of people like Cristiano Ronaldo. Last night, lifting his second Nations League trophy, and I think his 30 something, 38th major trophy in a glittering football career. He's walked into immortality, and he already has, superfluous wealth. Now, Osimhen is not a poor man by any stretch of the imagination. He's not getting paid sand or peanuts. He's getting paid top dollar. And wherever he goes, he will be paid handsomely. What I'm saying is that it is curious that with all this love and flirting of Chelsea, he hasn't gone anywhere. And it's not beyond the realms of imagination to suspect that Chelsea is on his radar. I really believe this guy is telling the truth. He's a Chelsea fan, as a lot of players are, but he's a professional. He will play where he's paid well. But if you can live the dream, like Jaden Sancho did for a season on loan, and he would love to come to Chelsea, but the figures have to be right, which, from the Chelsea point of view, would mean making major adjustments to their salary structure. Now, so far, all our signings, okay, even the ones to come, they're good signings. Even Mike Maignan, these are good signings. But I haven't really seen something, maybe Maignan a little bit, but of the others, they're so young, you can't exactly call them needle movers. Yet, it'd be fantastic if they end up being these needle movers, but they're so young, there's no real certainty of that, and and they're developing. And it's a good call to go for young players, but at the sort of level that we walked into, we do need something that is somewhat resembling a sure banker. This Mama do start Sar guy we've got, I'm baffled. I know nothing about him. I don't know whether he's good in the air. I don't know, but we go young anyway. Welcome to Chelsea. I'll support him, but I'm thinking another developing player who may or may not achieve, be successful, may not even get off the bench. One thing Osimhen will give you is he will move the needle. I know we're traumatized. We have striker PTSD. We've been traumatized by Romelu Lukaku, even to a certain extent Raheem Sterling. These were big, expensive, high wage strikers that really it didn't work out, and if anything, it didn't help the club at all. And I see the concern there. We'd rather go for low risk, but very talented Liam Delap, who at £30 million is an absolute steal for a modern day striker. So I understand that business as well. Now, what I'm saying, just to summarize and allow Dante to get out of the shower, um, what I'm what I'm saying just finally is this: Chelsea sporting directors and the club, I think, at this point in time, have to make a decision. This is the time for at least one marquee, and that marquee, as far as I'm concerned, should be Victor Osimhen because
How
he's
possible it is,
available.
Bobby?
Well,
Because I'm quite
I'm coming
sure
to that. I'm
you
coming
of
to
all
that.
people
I'm coming.
understand that you would take
Yeah,
the club making some
well,
exceptions, not
yes
just
and
one.
no. I'm coming to that in
Mhm.
my final summation.
Okay.
I think he's the guy. Now you were saying something about African Cup of Nations, the two African play strikers if they go away. Well, we've got Dilap. He will have enough time to understudy this
No, that's
man
fine. From a
and to be
monetary
able
perspective, do you
to,
see
s-
the club making
to
an
be.
exception in terms of?
Let me land. Let
Yeah,
me
go
land.
ahead. Mhm.
He will have enough time to understudy this guy and to be able to cover for him in his absence so far as he stays fit, because which is one silly thing that happens at this club. Whenever the doors open for somewhat understudying or second chance, second place players, they go off and get injured. So without speaking negatively about it, I think it is a good move. Now, coming to your thing about money, it's a whole bunch of rumors and speculation that um, Osimhen is asking for all this money. And I think he's proved that with the way he's turned down Al Hilal. It's not a money thing. People are saying, oh, he wants 250K after tax. He wants 300K after tax. He wants this, he wants that. I don't believe that. I think Osimhen is very aware of Chelsea's wage structure, but I think he doesn't want to undersell himself. There are players at Chelsea still that are earning outside the wage structure and are in the squad. I'm not talking of those we're trying to get rid of, like Chilwell and Sterling, but we do have at least one left that is earning outside the wage structure, and deservedly so, because honestly, he's our best player when fit. I'm talking about Reece James. I think the rest of the squad, because of his X value, his star quality, and the fact that he is a top striker, I don't see them, especially if we can quickly get Moises Caicedo on a new contract, which will bump his wages up. I don't see them feeling too upset about having Osimhen coming in on wages similar to that of Chilwell, maybe even the same as Sterling. It's a risk. It's a risk, but I think, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet. Now we're in the age of the big striker. This guy is not only tall, he's strong, he's fast, he's good in the air, good on the ground. He will be a needle mover. Will Chelsea do it? Is the big question. I don't know. But is it possible? Absolutely.
It's possible, but here's why I don't think Chelsea would do it. It would create a huge issue long term, honestly. If you make an exception for him, you have to. The other players to start asking that you make an adjustment, that they make an adjust, that they want, uh, that you make an adjustment to their own contract. It's huge, and I don't think Houston Bobby. I'm trying to be as objective as I can be, and as I've said, the issue of having two top African strikers and who both of which will get to leave to go represent represent respective countries whenever African come around. That's besides the issue. Making an exception for Osimhen creates a huge problem, and I don't see us doing that after signing Liam Delap. My theory is that part of the conversation that helped convince Liam Delap to choose us over Manchester United and Everton, where you can argue had he gone to Everton, he'd be starting week in, week out. No competition, actually. Would be that, yeah, you are a main guy. And if we sign Osimhen, he's no longer the main guy, except if Osimhen comes in and underperforms.
Coach, the last thing I'll say, I 100% understand what you're saying, but I think you are, if it was an Osimhen having maybe a Gyökeres coming in, I'll understand what you're saying. But Liam Delap relatively is a kid. His mileage in terms of that position is, there's no track record to look to, and he knows where he is. Every player that comes to Chelsea Football Club knows the time of day. You don't walk into clubs like Chelsea, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City, and not expect there to be a plethora of threats to your position at any given time T, unless you are an exceptional player. So he knows where he is. He knows what time of day it is. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I am saying that that this is not beyond the
There's
realms
a
of
100%
possibility.
chance I could be wrong. I'm just trying to make sense of, you can say, all the factors that surround the possibility of him joining Chelsea.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get my point right now, and and you could be right, and I agree with you. He's still a Napoli player, and he's never going to play for Napoli again. That's for sure. So he could still join Chelsea, but I'm saying from what I've looked at, it's difficult.
Okay, let
If
me
it
narrow it
happens,
down.
I would tender a public apology. Yeah, I've been wrong, but I don't think this happens. I
Let me
love my
narrow it
club,
down for you.
and I would like us to get him. If
Let
the
me
manager can
narrow
adjust his approach to accommodate a more traditional number nine like him, do it. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Let me narrow it down for you. He's turned his back on mega money with Al Hilal. He's not going to re-sign anything or go anywhere near Napoli. I don't think he'll go anywhere near an Italian club again. I think Italian clubs have issues with some of their star-rated African players that these guys aren't easily going to
And
forget.
there's actually a clause in his contract that he doesn't join any Italian clubs.
Well, that even makes it worse. I'm not sure that the Turkish league will be enough for him. Yeah, he's had a great time at Galatasaray, good relationship with the fans. I don't think you turn down Al Hilal to go and play for the Turkish league, which I don't know what it's called, but I don't see that. Which leaves the Premier League. He's not going to PSG. They have a settled side, and well, I doubt if they'll go for him. Who knows? They might, but I doubt it. It leaves the Premier League, and in the Premier League, there's only a few clubs. Arsenal's getting Tesco. Liverpool, I don't know. I don't know. Man United, I'm not sure he would want that project because of no Champions League football. So you're looking at Liverpool, who don't really seem to be looking at him, but it's possible. And you're looking at Chelsea. Man City don't need him because of Haaland. So it's those two. And if you look at those two, there's one of the two that kind of has not only a need, but have a somewhat relationship with him. That's why I say it is still possible. Maybe, football's full of surprises. He might turn around tomorrow and you see he's signed for Galatasaray. But I think if he wanted to stay there, he would have signed for them already. So it's going to be very interesting how this one pans out. It really is.
All right, interesting indeed. I mean, hope is a good thing. A lot of people believe, yeah, he's waiting for Chelsea. I don't think that's the case, and I still don't think he's rejected that much money only to come to Chelsea with us. With the, you can say with the rumors let's just call it rumor. I've never been at the table where they had that conversation with regards to his wage demands. I don't know. So it could still happen, but we'll see. I just don't believe it's gonna happen.
Can I
Even
just
if
add to that,
Mikel, for
coach?
Mikel
Though
to come out openly and say, yeah, he doesn't see him joining Chelsea. But we'll see. Let's see what else we have here. Big up to you to Temidalo and Reckon. Me, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Fantastic. Bobby, get the right carpet. Bobby cooked me, right? Is that what you're saying?
that's what he's trying to say. Let me add. Sorry, coach. Before you move on, let me add something to that.
Yeah.
Just with the Galatasaray thing, Bobby, and they can't pay 70 million his release clause, so there's no way he's going to Galatasaray.
So
That's
no way
just
he's
can't.
staying there.
No way, no. Unless it's on loan again, that's the only way. But
Well,
for
that
them to pay
Which
narrows
will
it
70
mean
down
him
million,
even
living
further.
as a free agent. And I don't think Napoli will also agree to a loan except if he signs another extension.
maybe,
That
yeah. So
narrows it
that's
down even further. And sorry, just to add something else to what Coach was saying, he was saying that Delap would be upset to have him come here.
I wouldn't say
How
be
do you think?
upset. I'm just saying
Well,
I
let,
don't
no,
let
he
think
won't
me.
the
be
lap
upset.
is a sign that we don't
You
need
don't.
Osimhen anymore.
Let me land.
Mhm.
How do you think Mbomo will feel if he goes to Man United, a team that doesn't even have Champions League football, will not have that many games, and that will be a squeeze, and has financial issues in
No,
terms
he's a
of
starter there,
trying to
Bobby.
get
He's
rid
got no
of.
problem from Buemo.
Well, he'll be a starter at Chelsea. That's what I'm saying. We can't close our eyes to possibilities. Football is such that until you see that player lifting up that shirt and pretending
Mm.
to sign a dummy contract, anything is possible. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I know for
Yeah,
sure,
it's possible.
but
The only problem with that, Bobby, is that we've signed the lap and we're in negotiations with Ekitike. So you think we're getting another striker on top of that, and we've signed a striker for next season already. Is a
Dante, we
pre-agreement.
are we are told we are that all these things are happening. The only thing we're sure of is that we've signed the lap. We're told all this Ekitike up and down. Okay, we can accept that Gittens is probably true, but there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I will go back to last season. Everybody was Chelsea's doing this, Chelsea's doing this, Chelsea's doing this. Next thing, bang, Chelsea signed Pedro Neto. You know,
Yeah, but that's different. It's not quite the
things
same.
happen. Well, I,
That's a
I I rest
little
my
bit
case.
different.
Let's just wait and see because if that guy walks through the door, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
And like,
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong. I don't mind him walking through the door,
I
but
don't mind being wrong. And if I'm
yeah, I
wrong,
don't mind being wrong
I
either.
would
But
I would
there's just
tender
too
a
many
public
variables, like Coach
apology.
says, that it's not going to happen.
All right. Let's see. Dante believes it will happen. It's not going to happen. I believe it's not going to happen. Bobby believes that is that it could still happen. And yes, it could still happen because yeah, he's still a Napoli player, and his loan spell at Galatasaray has ended. Do I think he comes to Chelsea? I'm still saying no, but that's my opinion anyway.
One
The
thing,
only,
coach, he
Um,
probably
the only thing
turned
I would
down that. Yeah, sorry, Bobby. He turned down
say,
that contract with Al Hilal, knowing that he might have an offer somewhere in Europe. That's the only thing you can probably look at. Otherwise, I don't think he would have turned it down. Like you say, to go back to Galatasaray, do you think he would have turned those wages down to go back to Galatasaray on loan? I don't think so. So he might have another offer or really close to something from another club, another European club. And for that salary, there's not many clubs that are available that will pay anywhere near that salary. Not even what he wants. I'm just talking about close to it. So yeah, that he might have another club, lined up. We don't know who that is, but that's the only explanation why he turned that down.
yeah, this was what I was going to say. You've just sort of led me to my next question. If you guys are adamant and you're well within your rights to feel that way, there's every logical reason behind what you're saying. But I stand with the fact that anything and everything is possible with this guy's situation. But if after narrowing it all down, where do you think this geezer's going? Because there ain't many clubs
Yeah,
out there, unless it's PSG. you
yeah,
know
yeah. Could be.
it's obscure and rather strange that Chelsea is not in the picture. Very strange.
I mean, you could be right. You could end up being the one that is right, but we don't know. You know. Uh, just one second here. Let me take care of something. All right, let's catch up with what we have. Jay saying, I'm actually excited for Gittens. In the right system, he could grow into a Dembele type, and Maresca does prioritize a touchline winger. So let's hope for the best. I think he would do well, which is the reason why we're actually pushing to get the deal over the line. Finally, Chelsea still has the chance at chance at getting one of the victors. Okay, hang on to hope. Hang on to hope. Asking me to reduce my wages just to benefit another millionaire, another millionaire club owner is a joke. We're all in the money making business, irrespective of whether you're a footballer or not. Why should I cut down money to foundations, family or investments?
Yeah, but then don't expect to play for Chelsea or for a team you want to play for. Then be happy with being on loan to Galatasaray or Saudi Arabia. He doesn't need to cut his money, but he has to accept that then.
Mm-hmm. And AP is saying, Coach, if we sign Osimhen, sure, we wouldn't be giving him an 8-year contract. So where is the issue? Okay, we'll see. The possibility is still there. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying I don't see it happening. Bobby, drop the
Have you
mic and
done
coach. Go ahead,
have,
Bobby.
have you done a Mike Mignon segment yet? Because there's something I was going to say a
Yes,
minute.
it's happening. But if you want to say anything about it, you go ahead. We already talked about it, but go ahead.
Okay, just to recap because I wasn't here. I just want to. I know it's a complete divergence because we're talking about Osimhen right now, and I think the consensus we've reached about Osimhen is that anything can happen at this point in time. It seems very curious. I don't think anybody that's left is off the table, simply because they are left, and there are not really that many more places he can go, bearing in mind the places he can't go. So that's the Osimhen thing. But for Mike Mignon, the one thing I wanted to say here is I think a lot of these Italian clubs, your Lazios and your now, surprisingly to me, AC Milan. I don't hope I hope it's not the case because I thought we had a good level of cooperation and understanding with AC Milan. They've
I
certainly
don't think you should trust Italians.
Well, they've certainly gained a lot from Chelsea, and the relationship we've had with them has been, I wouldn't say it's been symbiotic, but I think we've done well for them. And I think this is now becoming a ridiculous stance from them. You have a 29-year-old player who's turning 30 next month who has served you well, but he wants to go. He wants to go. He's been with you how many years now? He served your purpose, and It's time to move on. Now, he's told you he doesn't want to extend his contract. Why are you stifling him? Why are you now stopping this player from going to the Club World Cup? I'm not saying it's happening that way, but it seems with this stance they're taking, it could happen that way. You're cutting him out of the Club World Cup, potentially cutting him out of a full season with the Champions League. It just seems that you're creating bitterness unnecessarily. This is where these clubs lack some class. I'm speaking of Italian clubs because this kind of attitude is it's pointless. There's only one winner in the end. You're gonna have no matter how you want to wrap it up, no matter how they present themselves as professionals, you've got an unhappy player and senior player at that in your dressing room. I think they have to let this deal go. I really do. I don't see, there's no negotiation to be had here. They've got no leverage, only stubbornness, really. They have no money. They have no European football to offer. They only have their domestic leagues. A lot of their players are leaving. It's an opportunity for them to rebuild. It's as simple as that. Every club at some point or other has to go through a rebuild. Every one of them. Chelsea's was drastic, but we know the reason why. But everybody, Man City has been going through a sort of rebuild. Liverpool is trying to do some sort of rebuild. Arsenal, everybody does it. Juventus had to do it. So the position of AC Milan it's looking a little tacky. It's looking a little desperate and classless. It's looking a little bit malicious, and it makes no sense to me. Why would they want to be malicious towards Chelsea, who will not be in competition with them at all throughout the coming season? It's an odd position, and that's why I feel this deal will go through because
You could argue their stubbornness is driven by the fact that they probably by now know that we're pushing to get the deal done so that he'd be part of our Club World Cup squad. There's a chance that's the case because it
yeah,
just
but
doesn't make sense.
who does that hurt? That's my point.
Exactly.
You're
I
hurting
mean,
the
they can
player.
afford to waste time a bit. And
Uh, I
uh,
think the deal will go through because ultimately you're hurting the player. If they don't meet Chelsea's deadline, Chelsea is very, very comfortable to be able to say, okay, we'll go on. I mean, these aren't our preferred goalkeepers that we've got, but they're not bad goalkeepers. They're
mhm.
good enough. So I think the deal will go through because it's getting rather childish. It's very short sighted. You don't know what deal can happen in the horizon, and why burn your bridges with player and a club that you've had a very good relationship with? It's
Yeah.
like Lazio now, or is it Napoli? I've forgotten which. They all seem the same to me. One of them wants Chalobah. Now, I don't want Chalobah to go anywhere. But assuming Chelsea were prepared to revisit this Chalobah going situation, honestly, I will slap 100 million on his head to that club because they have been so disingenuous and obstinate with Chelsea. Anytime we've come for a player, it's as if we've committed a cardinal sin. So they burnt that relationship bridge, just like Tottenham have. I think Milan have to just let this one go. They're creating a situation of saving face that doesn't need to exist.
And by the way, he's told them, according to L'Equipe, he's told them that sell me now to Chelsea or I will run down my contract and leave as a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, why do you want that? I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, I
All
just
right, let's
thought I'd
catch
Yeah.
up
say
with what we have here. Osimhen wants to play football. He won't hesitate to take a little above 200k a week. Osimhen and Kudus can complete this team. Okay. Dante Galatasaray wants to pay the 75 million release clause in 5 installments, but only a verbal offer. They will not be offering Osimhen 21 million in wages if they cannot afford a transfer fee. Okay. Ekitike is great long term, according to Jay, a prospect for Chelsea, but Osimhen could be the one season difference between us finishing top three and being champions. But I agree, I don't see it happening. But at the same time, you're celebrating Bobby down for the Osimhen will have more offers, Dante. The win will still be the window will still be I'm guessing will still be open for the entire summer. He will stay in Europe no matter where that is. We'll see what happens. I know yeah, that chances are he stays in Europe. Coach, do you think we are settled with the signing of Gittens at the left wing? For me, I feel we still need something more electrifying to me. Oluwa. I think if we sign Gittens, we're fine. Gittens is an excellent winger. And remember, we still have Quendas. He's a winger too. And I think Madueke stays at least for 25, 26. Who else? There's still Pedro Neto. Yeah, I think with Gittens, I think that's it. We're not signing another winger. Gittens is a special player. He gets you goals and all that. So yeah, it's him. Aneto's cross to Osimhen and a bang header. Ooh, my days. Just why am I even reading it like I believe you said it? Bobby got me daydreaming. It's not gonna happen. Go away. Lord Dante. Okay. Why am I? How am I gonna lead? Am I supposed to read your love letter to Dante here?
Since when does he love me? He doesn't love me.
Oh my goodness! I know you know he loves you. The fight we fight here is usually delicious. I like to watch you two of you go at each other. I'm not reading this love letter. I'm quite sure he's ready. Just leave me alone. I'm over the Osimhen hype, according to Charles. Yeah, Shank. Um, they wouldn't. He says they wouldn't give the lap the number 9 if
That's a
there
good
was
point,
another
actually.
big name striker coming. Ooh, that's deep. EPL top Bettinelli is homegrown player, so City wants it to help in homegrown area. Yes, use it in the goalkeeping department. It makes sense. That's probably the reason why they want him. Question for the panel: has playing in the Turkish league diluted Osimhen's skill set and could be a problem if it comes to the Premier League? That's a serious question. It's a possibility because the intensity is different. It's much easier there. I'm not playing down the 1,000 goals he scored over there. That's not exactly what I'm doing. But in all honesty, the difference is clear. He might need, if we eventually sign him, he might need some time to adapt. In all honesty, anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, look, it's there's 3 or 4 really good teams. Maybe that's probably it. The rest, a lot of the teams are very, very low down. They don't have the budget nowhere near of those other teams. And yeah, it is much easier. I mean, even their own journalists said the same thing. They said there's no way he's scoring that many goals anywhere else. Sorry, in the Premier League. But yeah, look, it hasn't. I mean, I still see him as around that 15 to 20 goal striker. He's still got the quality to do that, no problem. So that's not a problem for me that he scored less or more there. I think he's still good for that because the way he plays. But yeah, it has to be in the right setup, in the right system, of course, as well.
Yeah, more likes, people. 40 likes. We can do a lot better than that. Rather get Watkins. I don't think we'll go near Watkins. I wanted them, but that's it. If Osimhen is not interested in Saudi, then why he engaged them? Yeah, to the extent that they had to book a medical. I don't know. Either he's dumb or likes to waste other people's time. Wow.
Yeah, they did book a medical. He's 100%. So that he
And
would have said yes to them before
before they
before
booked
that.
it, yeah.
Correct. They don't book it for fun, and they organized the private plane to go get him and everything. So he would have said yes to that. He's changed his mind last minute. We don't know why. We'll find out
Maybe
soon.
he wants to live as a free agent.
Yeah, either to screw over, like you said, Napoli, or he's got enough of an offer close to what he wants from a European club that he wants to go to,
That only
or
he
like I
knows right
said,
now. Mhm.
he just saw too much bad publicity and bad media about him being money hungry and going there wasting his prime just for money, and he had a bit of a heart change. Okay, maybe that's not a good look for me at the moment, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna stay in Europe, try to find someone in Europe. So yeah, we'll see. Time will tell.
All right, AB says, what did I just hear? A verbal agreement with who? Let's see. What does we have here? We need a center backs. I don't think we're going to sign another center back. Mamadou Sa is actually an excellent defender, ball playing too, very intelligent. reads the game very well. We would compare him to the players we have right now. Joe has signed for Dortmund. Osimhen did same thing last summer as well. So it's not first time with the Saudi club. Yeah. A loan to Chelsea could happen, guys. Come on, give me something to hold on to. Go back to work. It's not going to happen. So this says Manchester City are ready to make a move for Chelsea's third choice goalkeeper in Marcus Bettinelli. Okay, no need to waste time on that one. Okay, this is here official. Chelsea have confirmed the transfer of Mamadou Sarr from League One, side from RB Strasbourg, assists the club with the defender signing a contract until 2033. Let's compare him to our current defenders. He's an excellent defender, as young as he is, in my opinion. Tobeho will tell you more. Tobeho, do not score an own goal right there. Lateness isn't greatness because you joined late. The coaches.
Yeah, Tobago. Good discipline, Tobago. You learn from the best.
Yeah, he learned from the best, right? I got PTSD with Sam Bakayoko because of the names, but this kid is good. Here's the top 10 coefficient league scored over the last 5 years. Okay, where are they? Osimhen thinks he's Ronaldo or Messi, and all top European clubs will fall. You don't know. They may well be talking to him. I don't know. More likes, people. Press and hold your screen for just about a second. Then you see the options to like, whatever you want to do, comment or share the video. Why would Gyökeres want United? For my boss, relationships can go a long way. Sa is my boy. I really do like him. I know you know him very well. So let's look at his numbers here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth tab. Jeez, are we going to catch up? Okay, let's see. So let's check Sa, Mamadou Sa. I hope his numbers are there. Mamadou Sa, 23, 24. He doesn't have 25, 24, 25 numbers. But let's go with his 23, 24 numbers. We have to clear this. Oh, no. That's another Sa. I have to go CBs.
I was gonna say, Coach, be careful. There's like 10 SARs like that.
Yeah, a lot, a lot of them. I've officially given up on bash. All right, let's do Sa. Mamadou Sa. Okay. Strasbourg. That's him. 19. Okay, let's do Cowell. Levi Cowell. Okay. They complement each other. And then let's stick with both, actually. Okay. Levi Cowell better aerially. Better, again, more pass volumes from him. Ball carrying Levi Cowell is better. Sa forward passes a lot more. Defensive actions, Sa more. Duels percentage 1, Sa more. I think he complements Levi Cowell. Not bad. And I like him. What do you think, Dante?
Yeah, I've watched quite a bit of him with Tobago at Strasbourg. Tobago really likes him. I like him as well.
I like him, yeah.
Look, he's tall, he's big, he's like Tosin, so he's 6'4", 6'5". He's very tall. Very.
Oh, he's that tall, 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big boy, and he's still growing.
Bobby, there you go. He's answering all your questions, and he can be physical.
Yeah, look, the only downside is physicality. He hasn't got as much meat on him. He needs a bit more meat, Coach. It needs to bulk up a little bit. So he's not quite that strong yet, and that's why being at 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", I can't remember exactly. You see the aerial duels one there. Not that many, because he can get a bit pushed off the ball when in the air. So he's not quite, for a big guy like that, he's not that good in the air. That's just because he hasn't got that core strength yet, which will come in the next couple of years. But other than that, ball playing tick, very good. He's more of a composed defender. He doesn't really get out as much. He likes to watch, like a Tosin, more of a slower paced watches, but then he's got quick acceleration to
But he reads at his age. He reads the game.
He reads
very
the ball.
well.
Yeah, he's very mature for his age. That's what I was going to say next. That's why I compare him to Tosin very much. Same height, similar height, same play style where he reads the play and then goes for the tackle. It's not like Colwell or Fofana where they just go out and rash challenges. He doesn't do that. He watches the play and makes a decision. So he's got a cool, level head, calm head. But yeah, the only thing is the physicality of the Premier League might it might take probably a year or two to catch up to that physicality, because even though he's tall, he hasn't got the weight. Unfortunately, he's still quite lightweight. So, yeah, look, I think I think he was bought to start or anything like that. I think he was bought to probably replace maybe a Buddy Shield, Disasi, Chalobah, to be a squad player basically. So, and to develop in the next couple of years, because he's got that potential. The reason we signed him now, because his price is low now. In 2 years' time, his price
And
will be double.
he's joining the squad.
Yeah.
Where
Of
does
course
leave
he is.
Anselmina?
I
Where
think
does
he
Yeah,
probably
Antonio was
goes
injured,
out on
Bobby.
loan.
Problem with him, he came at the wrong time. He came injured, then he got injured again, and wasn't able to play at all, and not be even registered for the Conference League because
Plus,
of it.
doesn't have
So,
European experience, so start over him.
yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly. He's got that
where does it
experience.
leave him? What now?
It's,
Antonio will either go on loan or he'll stay as well and be a squad player, because, like I said, there's a high chance that, well, Disasi, Chalobah, Badia Shield, that's 3 defenders gone already. Basically, could be a very high chance that all those 3 leave. So you need squad depth, and this guy will be one of them. A young player. Maybe Anselmina might stay, but I have a feeling he's going to go on loan. And we will be signing another. I know coach said we're not, but we are signing another centre back. I'm pretty sure of it.
okay, we'll see. If you send Salmina stays and Sai is coming, I don't think we're signing another centre back.
We still need one, even if they both stay. We still need another one.
All right, we'll see. Thank you. Don't forget, Napoli has Lukaku. Yep, he's never going back to Napoli. I think we know that. Got 9 centre backs: Kowa, Disasi, Badia, Sheila, Trevor, Chalobah, and Salmino, Josh, and plus the Maresca. Maresca likes is Samuel Smith, so he's gonna. We've heard that
Yeah,
he's going to be
and
part of the
Vega. I forgot
first
about
team.
Vega. He might leave as well. So
Yeah, Tosin, Viega, Sa. I think they're going to keep Viega. Let's get 2 more to make it 11 CVs.
he's not staying, coach. He will want to be a starter. He's been a starter at Juventus. He's not going to stay and not be a starter at Chelsea now.
He wouldn't want to stay, but I think he'll have a conversation with the club. We'll see what happens. More likes, people. 45 likes. We still have 61 people watching, and that has been the average. Why is Nightbot deleting your message? You use all caps. You used all caps to Chelsea for life. Avoid that so that the AI that is policing the chat doesn't delete your message, please. Okay, it's not a human being, so you don't start a fight. Let's get 2 more to make it 11 CVs to make sure they start. Let's see. That is not him. That's not who. What's he saying?
I don't know. The picture you have up, maybe? No, that's him. That's Tosin. I mean, that's Sa.
Go away. All right, what do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the screen. Last time you liked the player, same way was KDH and Sancho. I like Sancho. I like KDH also. For some reason, in this case, Sancho didn't do bad. No. In cases where he played badly, the team, the entire 11 didn't play well. That's usually the case. KDH, for some reason, I don't think he's been able to cope with the pressure of being a Chelsea player. I think that's just the difference.
Although he did very well at the end of the season.
Yeah, towards the end of the season, he did better. Yeah. So
well.
I'm not gonna. I don't just like players for the sake of it. I usually I like with context, if that makes sense. Substance maybe. Bobby is a height enthusiast.
No, his physicality, his strength.
Physicality is his thing. His RCB, and we have so many right at the back, and we have so many of them. So how is this helpful? I don't know. Let's go. Sa will learn from Uncle Tosin. Anything else here? Anything else important? I'm going to try to scroll to the very bottom, and if I haven't read your comment, maybe I'll stop. Tosin Sa is a very good combo. He reminds me of Konate. Wow, okay.
No.
Ibrahim Konate. Anything
Konate's
else
strong.
here for Fana 200k? Weak Sa is a really good type of player. Wow.
No.
That's a lot more than I expected. Here, go ahead.
Have you watched him play? He's not a Rudy guy. He's not even close. He's a calm, composed young kid that, plays nice and slow and watches. Rudiger's not like that. Rudiger's a beast.
Yeah. Actually, the CCN Trevor are most likely to be sold. Yeah, I agree. No, that's you did put on okay, something else. Okay. Breaking news: Gittens to Chelsea is off till Club World Cup, according to
Okay.
you see what he did there, right? I'm gonna stop reading his comment. Honestly, coach likes Sancho. Yeah, I do like him. He's a good
I
player.
like him as well.
I
Yeah.
do like him. Again, through the duration of his stay, he's one of our most productive dribblers.
He's our
Yeah.
most technical
Okay.
dribbler by far. Yeah. He's very
Yeah.
good at. Yep.
So Graham Bailey saying, I'm told by sources with knowledge of the situation at Chelsea that they hope and believe that Maignan and Gittens will be part of the Club World Cup squad, adding to the lapse arrival. You could argue this is why probably those clubs, you could say, playing hard balls just because they know
Exactly.
we want to go to the Club World Cup with them. Veins quoting Mail Sport, Simon Jones, Chelsea are to make an improved offer for Jamie Gittens after their opening bid of £29.5 million bid was rejected. We're penny pinching there, but I think we get the deal over the line. I think the thing is that we've agreed personal terms with him, a 7-year contract, I heard, or 6 year or so, and he wants to join Chelsea. So that alone has made it a lot easier for us. Dortmund wants somewhere in the region of £40 million. The Blues are hoping to sign him before Tuesday deadline to play in the Club World Cup. I think we're getting this deal across the line, and I like this player, and I'm happy that we're getting him over Williams and after Nico Williams. And I've talked about how Nico Williams is the much bigger name, more experience of the two, but with Gittens, you get a lot more goals than just assists. And as he matures, you can say he matured to have a balance of goals and assists, and not just one. With huge disparity over the other. I like him so much. This guy is such an excellent dribbler. And if you look at his dribbling statistics, my goodness, is in the top 1%. Yeah. Let's see, Coach, if Patty is right with this news, you must acknowledge him. I
No.
will. More likes, people. 48 likes. Two more to get it to 50. Let's get it to 50. We haven't reached 50 likes in terms of our live streams for a while now. Are you convinced that with just Gittens? I am. I think we're good. We have enough numbers. All the players we've been signing are players that are capable of playing on either flank. So let's look at his numbers. I do like Gittens quite a lot. Dante, I don't know whether it'd be correct to say you prefer Williams.
Yeah, look, I love both of them are very good. Like I said, I only preferred Williams, just like I said, very, very slightly, is because just how well he plays with Cucurella on that left hand side. He's got that connection. They do very well for Spain on that left hand side together. A bit more experienced, obviously, as well. Played a bit longer, but there's not much between them. I like, for the wages and the price. Yeah, I definitely take Giddens 100%, no problem.
Yeah, but no question, the more experience of the two is Williams, the bigger
Yeah,
name
look, I
also.
mean, yeah, well, yeah, of course he is. He's played for Spain a little bit longer, and as well, he's got that international experience as well, obviously. So, and he's won with Spain. So, yeah, look, that's why he's more experienced. But let's not forget, Giddens has played a lot with at a young age for Dortmund, but also he's played in the Champions League a lot. So he's got a little bit of experience there as well. But yeah, the only reason, like I said, just by a little fingernail, I'll go for Williams, just because of that experience and the connection and the way he plays with Cucurella for Spain. It's a really good link up. So I would have liked to see that. If I was to choose, I'd probably choose that. But 100%, I would take Giddens as well. There's no problem there.
Yep. I think pretty much in where he urges the rest that we're comparing him with, which is dribbles. He's in the top 1%. Remember, I've said that before. In
Yes.
terms
Yeah.
of ball carrying, they pretty much measure a lot less from Pedro Neto. Doesn't carry a lot. Attacking actions, Gittens also edges them a bit. Key passes, Pedro Neto edges them a bit because crossing is sustained, so it makes sense there. Assists, Pedro Neto, a lot more crossing and sustain. That makes sense also. XG, expected goals and assists, a lot more from Nani Madueke. Very direct. No
Yeah, because
surprises
he
there.
shoots 100 times a game. Yes.
Yeah. Non-penalty goals, that's Gittens ages that because he gets a lot of goals. So Gittens, you could say, competition for the rest of our squad players that are wingers. Not much disparity. I think, but they beat Nani Madueke in terms of assists. All of them beat him in terms of assists.
No
What
surprise
does that
there.
tell you? Nani Madueke's
No surprise.
selfishness.
Yep. Yep.
That is clear reflection of the fact that he's a selfish player. Look at it. All of them, they beat him hands down in terms of assists. Look
And
at
if you
where
watch
he is.
Gittens, and if you actually watch Gittens play, you think because he's a goal. He likes to shoot and score. Like he's a direct winger. He's like Noni Madueke. He likes to shoot. Take his man on and shoot. But he does it at a much higher level, in my personal opinion, than even over Madueke, because he's got the left foot and he's got a right foot. So that already, the predictability is it's already gone for a defender. You don't know if he's going to go left, right, stay there, cut back. With Noni, you know what he's going to do. He's going to cut back on his left and he's going to shoot from the right hand side. And that's all a defender has to defend him. And hence we see 50 shots a game and they're all hit the defender because surprised they block the shot. So yes, Giddens doesn't have that predictability because he's so good with both feet. And
He's very
he's faster.
unpredictable.
He's much
And
faster as well.
yeah. And the slightest of space he sees, he shoots.
He shoots and he's got a strong shot. He's got a very strong shot. Where Noni
And
doesn't
strong
have that.
accuracy too.
Yeah, he's got the strength in his shot. So yeah, where Noni doesn't really have that strength. He goes for more accuracy than strength in his shots inside of the foot, where this guy puts his body behind it and really goes for power. So it's a different profile of winger, and we need this type of winger. So it's a good addition to Maresca. Fits perfectly like a glove for his system.
Yeah, and I actually used to think that Williams actually would have more key passes than Gittens. In terms of Gittens actually has more key passes than Williams. He has 85.0, Williams 82.7. The only person that has a lot more key passes is Pedro Neto. We know it's his thing, right? He has 93.4. The
And
least
that's
is
why
Nani Madueke, of course.
And that's why Neto with the lap, you're going to see Neto getting a lot of assists.
Yeah. So that makes me happy. This number for Pedro Neto makes me very happy. I think the lap will enjoy a good relationship with him, actually. I think he'll be getting a lot of service. So the only way to stop Chelsea next season will be to stop the crosses. Once he gets into the box, be rest assured we get Nico. Yeah, I love Gittens. Or 17 million is this a release clause? I'm not sure, but I don't think we'll pay anything close to 17 million. Konate and Rudiger were shaky before joining the Premier League. So you're saying Sa will match up to become even a stronger player. We need to ask ourselves if these trophy winning signings. Gittens is lightweight and it's more like a Brighton signing. He's not. I think he's that sort of player. If we miss out on him next season, you'll be hearing, we wanted to sign him. Why didn't we sign him? Just like the Ziri duo. I get it. Duo wanted to join PSG, right? And all that.
Yes. Same with Bacola. Same thing.
Exactly.
They wanted to
But
they
we
wanted
didn't really
to
push to sign him that much. So we shouldn't. That sort of signing, that sort of player is Gittens. He has everything in him, and numbers are behind him, and it's not lightweight in my opinion. He can still become more physical, but I wouldn't hesitate taking him. Okay,
And he fits the
Rodrigo and
system
Williams
perfectly,
are
yeah.
using clubs to sign a new contract. I think it was Dante that said this the other day. They're using Chelsea to
Yeah.
get better contracts.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what agents do.
Yeah, a lot. They do a lot of that. If Lord Dante approves, then I'm confused. Really, Egbon? Wow, Lord Dante indeed for you. Williams should have been the top target. No, I don't think so. We're signing the better player of the two. Just the more experience is Williams, but Gittens is wow. I love him. My belief was actually I thought Williams would have a better key passes number, but it turns out no. Gittens has actually better key passes than him by 3 points, around 3 point something points or 2 points. Gittens uses both feet. Yeah, you've heard that. Yeah, Noni indeed. I think he can get better, but he's a selfish player, and we've always known that that's the case. So nothing new there. Pedro Neto is being shaky recently. He's been shaky. He didn't finish the season well, in my opinion. So I agree with you, Mr. Waves, right there. What else do we have?
I think he ran
I'd
out of
rather
a good
Ryan
steam.
Chucky than
Playing striker
Gittens. Go ahead.
didn't help Neto. I think playing striker, he really ran into the ground those games playing striker. I think that sort of, because he played well playing as a striker, but then the games after he didn't look. He looked like he was finished. And let's not forget, he's usually injured. So this was one of the first seasons he's been non-injured as well. So yeah, I think that's what might have played a role. He's played the most games as well. So
Yeah, I just added Liao there. We'll look at it in a bit, like Tabejo wants us to do. Here we go. Galatasaray are offering a free Wi-Fi. Just
look
leave
who's
me the
talking.
heck alone.
Look who's
Seriously.
talking. Man that doesn't have a connection ever.
Yeah. Okay, I've added a Liao to the comparison to the spider web on the screen right here. Liao, more key passes, more assists. Okay, who edges him? Madueke edges him in goals plus assists in total, and Gittens and Williams a bit behind those two in that area. Non-penalty goals. Gittens is still top as that. Liao just right behind him. We will say Gittens also still the better dribbler. I told you he's in the top 1% in terms of successful dribble.
Oh yeah, he's much better.
Yeah, and he takes a lot of risks, though. Also, so
correct.
Gittens,
You will see him lose the ball a lot as well because of it.
because of the volume of dribbles he attempts. But Williams
But that's
loses
fine,
the ball a lot more than Gittens.
Yeah. Yes. Look, he's still, he's still young. Let's not forget, Gittens is quite young, but the potential is, like world class, 100%. He's got that potential, like I said. So, but he's already doing it at this young age at a high level, at a high percentage. So that's a very good sign. And I think, like I said, he fits out perfect. Maresca would have seen him and watched him, and if the scouts showed him to Maresca would have said, "I want him," because that's a perfect touchline winger for a system like Maresca's.
If my village people sent you, it's not gonna happen. You want them to shut down this channel immediately. 15 minutes. We're not showing that penalty here. Leao, but his work rate is still a question mark. That's a huge question mark, not just still a question mark. We can barely find out our wingers, but we are focused on getting rid of only out and out winger in Madueke. He can get better. I mean, he has to be less. I've talked about this 1,000 times. Madueke is not in any way a bad player, but he has to pay attention to what he has to do to become a much better player. And I'm going to simplify it. Be a little less selfish and be a little more selfless. He's a winger, not a number 9. And that will always count against him. Look at it. Do you see the assist numbers?
And be less
predictable. You see where he is?
Coach.
He's the one with the least assists. And the disparity isn't even close. The disparity is huge in numbers in terms of assist output. There is huge, if you get the point. So he needs to work on that aspect of his game to become a much better player. I think Dante wanted to say something. Just give me 1 second. We need consequences for coaches. Bold predictions. He keeps getting away with if Gittens flops, we need you to eat hot chips. I will do it, but Gittens isn't going to flop at Chelsea. Do we get Maignan and Gittens by the end of this first window? I think we will. I think we will. It was on ITV last night. But I'm not going to do that. Maignan, yes. Gittens, no. Go away. He doesn't think we'll get Gittens. I think we will get Gittens. But that's, by the way. So this has helped us learn a lot. And Noni Madueke is crazy. Everything else, and you can say good enough. But the most important thing as a winger, assist that should be higher. But this shows you almost always want to be the scorer, which means he has actually more XG plus goals, but a lot more goals than assists. Actually, I think
But he
definitely.
doesn't even score enough, nowhere near enough goals
Yeah,
as he should
exactly.
either. So it's not just that. It's number one assist should be number one. My problem is predictability with him. Like I said, it is not hard for a defender when you know what he's gonna do, and he has not shown any growth in that part of his game. When I saw him against Wolves the first game, whatever, when he scored the hat trick, and he scored 2 goals with his right foot. I said, okay, finally, he's not predictable. We're going to see him ball out this season. He's learned on his right foot, and now he can trouble defenders. Well, that was the last time we saw the right foot, wasn't it? Basically, and pretty much goals. He didn't score in like what was it, 6 months? He didn't like score or nothing. So it's just too predictable. The defenders know he's going to cut it onto his left and shoot with his left because he never looks to assist first. He always looks to do that first. So it's just too late. By then, when he wants to assist, it's too late because the defense is settled and he can't assist. So yeah, his predictability it needs to work a lot, and that's 2.5 seasons now I've seen it. So I've seen no growth. I think he's gotten worse, to be honest. Probably the last 4 or 5 months, I think he's gotten worse. So especially this running, the 10 games we had, the pressure, he's been the worst these last 10 games. When the pressure was the highest, I think he's been our worst player. Every time he had to, get subbed early, or Maresca just played him because we had no other players to play, he played. But yeah, he didn't do nothing in those games. When the pressure was the highest, we needed him the most, he didn't do nothing. So for me, I've seen enough. I mean, he's going to get next season, and he probably should. But with Esteval, Gittens coming in, Neto, maybe another one who we don't know, and next season Quenda, I think if he doesn't perform by January, I think he's out the door January.
Yeah, and
Just want
Jay
to add
looks like.
something to this, if I can,
Mhm.
because this is an interesting one. Yeah, I get what Dante is saying. I think there's a lot of value in that. The thing about Madueke for me is he's inconsistent, and you're right. When the going got tough and the pressure was on, he disappointed. He's that player that if you want him to do something critical at a time where the team really needs him, he's probably going to let you down, and that's unfortunate. Is he developing? I think he is. It's just that his development is just rather slow. It's very slow, considering the club he's at now. We mentioned Esteval Williams. He has a case to remain for next season, but he will get better because he will get better. I mean, but will he get good enough? Time will tell. I personally believe Esteval Williams is going to need at least a season, maybe 2 seasons. I've seen him play in his Brazil internationals. He looks very lightweight, very, very lightweight. He does
Yeah, but
lose the ball.
There are
one
factors
game.
to consider though for that
Yeah,
game,
that's
but
one game. People are
but
Well,
overreacting on that. Yeah,
let's let him drop Dante. We
yeah.
maybe
yeah,
get to that.
I'll just, I've even seen him for Palmeiras. He does lose the ball. That toughness that you will need to play in the Premier League is not there. I'm not saying it can't be there, but the Premier League is such a different animal. You have to be in it to get used to it. The best of players. It takes some time. Cristiano Ronaldo came in just as a fledgling, like Esteval, and it took him a whole season and a half before he was able to find his feet. He was doing very silly things, all these step overs and getting blown over by some defender just blowing wind at him. All that. I'm not expecting, and I don't think we should expect Esteval to rip up trees or any one of these youngsters. Even Andre Santos. I think Andre Santos is an excellent player, but Andre Santos is going to have to learn the Premier League. It takes time. Look at Caicedo. I know his transfer kind of held him up a bit, in his first season at Chelsea, and everybody needs at least a season, but he needed that season to get into his groove. Um, Enzo Fernandez, the same thing. He needed a season and a half to start to find his groove, and even then, it was helped by tactical changes by Maresca. So I'm saying we have a developing team. We have a lot of developing players. These players take time. Their development is at different rates. This is why I would, with Gittens, like to see perhaps a little bit more seasoned a winger added in. You know, your likes of Kudus. I know Morgan Rogers isn't exactly a winger, but he can play that role. You know, we need someone slightly more seasoned to make it a less dependent situation. Like we had last season, we were depending on Noni, we were depending on Jackson, you know, and when it really, really mattered, they kind of floundered. I don't know. It's interesting. Let's see what happens. But I do get what you're saying about Madueke. I think this coming season is a big season for him. If he doesn't take his game up a level, his Chelsea position and maybe even his England position may start to come under threat.
I mean, it's only fair to prepare for the possibility of him not starting well. That could happen. Um, Chances are he
Yeah.
comes in and start ripping up trees, but I wouldn't judge him based on his performance for Brazil. A lot of factors are in place. You say were in place that may have led to him not playing as well, and he wasn't actually poor. He wasn't actually poor in that game. He wasn't the least rated. I think it was Rafinha who was that was least rated in that game.
Coach,
Um,
my point is he's not poor by any stretch of the imagination. That
no, no.
is a good player.
Mhm.
But I know the Premier League. You know, let's not pretend. Our defenders are spiteful and they have it's just that we're very good at shifting a narrative. Premier League defenders, the English game, they master the art of of vicious play. They will clatter into that guy, and I'm not sure he will survive it. You know, you're
No,
not,
he's
you
fine.
know, some no, he will not. It's different. It's not
I've
like
seen
in
him for
Brazil.
Palmeiras, Bobby. Them absolutely hacking him and going for him and trying to
Bobby, you
kill him.
can't bully Estavo. That's one thing I can tell you.
Well,
Yeah,
You
let's see.
cannot bully
Let's see.
him.
I'm
Honestly.
hoping not. I'm hoping not, but
Yeah.
I don't, I don't see it. You know, I've seen enough of football to know how it works. You know, even Noni, you know, they clatter into him. He's used to it. He knows what to expect. That kid's going to need at least a full season. I pray if his development is ahead of schedule, he will take till December, which is half a season. If his development is normal, he will take a full season.
mm.
He won't know what's hit him till he's hit the pitch in a Premier League game. And
Yeah.
he's
Look, of
good
course he'll
enough,
need
but
to.
he'll need to adjust.
We'll
Yeah, of course
see.
he'll need to adjust a little bit. It's different climate, weather. There's a lot of factors as well. Of course, he will need to adjust, but I think he's got that quality and he's got that toughness already. When you say he has, I think he's like I said, I've seen in many games, Palmeiras, where he gets. They try to bully him. They try to just hack him and take him down.
He
They're
won't
pretty
fall for a
vicious.
foul.
Pretty vicious in the Brazilian league. The defenders, they don't muck around there, and they try to hit him down, and he doesn't go down. He's not the type to go down and get a foul. He keeps going. So I think he's
He's
got
a
that
tricky.
toughness.
He will be that sort of player that will be labeled tricky customer for defenders. Is that good? But we'll see.
Correct.
But Bobby, your argument is sensible. It could
Sure.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but those two players, I'm honestly not too sure. We would be fools to go into next season with Sanchez. Not you and I, because it's probably what happened. He'll still be here. But don't call me a fool. I can call yourself a fool. Um,
Shanks.
Ronaldo is also a winger.
Was that Shanks?
Attackers in the Bundesliga cannot do the same thing in the Premier League. I mean, yeah, believable. Forget about that. Let's say, I'm sorry, Nani can never be my ideal winger. Estevao comes save me from this atrocity. I think they're different profiles, really. I'd rather stick to Premier League proven Madueke and get more wingers instead of cutting our noses. Madueke, I think once Maresca gets a better player, I think that's it for Madueke. But I still think he'd be here for next season, for the coming season. But we'll see what happens. Kudus is a good shout. Yep, I would take Kudus. I'd rather Ryan Chucky than Gittens and Nate to even Madueke. I like Chucky, but I like Gittens. They're two different profile players, in my opinion. That Brazilian league is low tier, but usually don't have Brazilian players don't have issues succeeding in the Premier League. Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's something else I wanted to say that I did talk about the other day. A lot of people watched Estevao Willian in that game against Ecuador with so much expectation that they actually failed to give him credit that he did okay in that game. He wasn't bad. And it's only natural when you expect too much from your fellow human being, you will get disappointed. Even when they do their best, it usually doesn't measure your expectation. I think that's what happened on that day. I was like, did I watch a different game or what? The kid wasn't bad. It's just because of the hype, you can say, and the number of teams that wanted him and all that. And, they were expecting him to be Messi in that game or be Neymar, which I knew was never possible. So as the game ended, they didn't see Neymar level of performance or Messi level of performance. They were disappointed, even without giving him credit for how well he did. But that's, by the way, Delicious Bobby says, and I quote, he was doing this silly step over things and get blown by everyone. Wow. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions. I'd rather Ryan Chucky than
Coach,
Kudus.
I remember why I say this about Estevao, and I'm just trying to protect the boy, to be honest.
No, I
I
understand. We
really want him
agree.
to
We're
succeed.
just having a conversation. Go ahead, buddy.
I remember Robinho. Robinho, he came from Real Madrid to Man City, although he thought he was going to Man United. Um, it was really funny that, he thought Manchester was Manchester. He ended up in Man City. Now, he was meant to be the next best thing since sliced bread. He came in, and the Premier League was just too physical. I think he moved from City to, I don't know where else he went to in England. Was it West Ham or
I
somewhere
think
like
he
that?
went, I think Milan. Didn't go to Milan? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's right. Okay, yeah, he went to
I
Milan,
can't
and
quite remember,
but
but
he's
He did very
sadly,
well, Bobby.
well, not what his talent and the promise and potential had for him when he was playing in the underage
He was the best player when he was
competitions.
playing.
you,
Even
you
at a
see,
young age,
Bobby,
he was
that's
the
the
best player.
expectation aspect of our conversation. The expectation is the reason why people probably didn't respect
Well,
what he was able to do.
Exactly. And added to that, we can't pretend the physicality, certainly in England, was too much for Robinho. He was
Back then, yeah,
tricky.
yeah.
He was tricky. He wasn't somebody that you could clatter easily, but clatter him they did, and intimidate him they did. That's all I'm saying. It takes an adjustment, and it takes a certain level of mental strength to be that player. I remember yet again a little diminutive player from Brazil that played for Middlesbrough, Jorginho. He took a season to really get used to it, but when he got used to it, boy,
He's
what
a
a player
superstar,
was he! He was an amazing player. Size was nothing for him. So I'm not saying that Esteval cannot reach those giddy heights. What I'm emphasizing is that we have to take time, and just as coach has been saying in that
Temper
game,
our expectations.
exactly like that game against Ecuador, people were expecting him to come out as primetime Kaka, whereas we should just slow down a bit. Remember, he's only 18. Um, that kid's going to take a little bit of time, at least, to find his feet.
Then if he
The only
comes
thing with
in
that,
and
Bobby,
meets our
is
expectations, then fine.
yeah. The only thing with that is the Premier League is not what it was back then, when there was like 15 other English team with just English players, like rough play. Every team now, pretty much, probably except the promotion and even some of the relegation teams, have all European players, and they play a different type of football now. It's very different. It's not the same. It's not that heightened physicality like it was before. It's
But it
much more
still
tempered
is
now, and the referees protect the players.
a lot
So
more.
it's
Okay.
yeah, it's easy to get away with now. I don't see a problem. If it was 15 years ago, yeah, but now I think it's changed a lot. Yeah, you
Well,
still got to.
try telling your Nottingham Forests of this world, or your West Hams, or indeed your Newcastles. These are physical teams. I mean, even Arsenal, the game we played them at the Etihad, it was pathetic. They just slapped us up like like a bunch of kids. They beat us
Yeah,
1-0, but it could have been 6-0. They didn't really want to stretch themselves. Why? Because they had that physical superiority. Every time we came, they would easily block us, body
yeah.
check us, and things like that.
But for a
So,
winger, I'm saying for a winger, it's different. Not for a winger. Wingers, isolation, space, running. It's a bit different. We're not talking about like defensive midfields or anything like that. So
Here's what I want to stick with.
okay, let's hope you're right.
From Bobby's point, let's just don't expect too much. If the kids comes in and start ripping up trees, like Bobby would say, fine, but don't expect it to be perfect. Just like don't watch his games at Chelsea like the way we watched his game for Brazil and expecting him to be Kaká, Messi, and all that, and then
not one
be
game, no.
disappointed. Chances are he struggles. Chances are he flourishes from the start till he says bye. But I don't think he fails. One thing that will never happen is that kid failing. He will
But
not.
there's nothing wrong, coach. There's nothing wrong having
Exactly.
expectations either.
Chelsea fans in the fan base, he'll have one stinker and they'll be all on his back. And I'm
Well, they
like,
already did that at
expect
that
a
game against
stinker or
Brazil
two.
already.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Sorry?
Go ahead. Go
They
ahead.
already did that with the game against Brazil. They already done that. A lot of
Well,
the
there you go. But it's even worse if he's wearing a Chelsea shirt.
Yeah.
So, expect one or two lame games. If I were Maresca, I may even just start him off with, apart from the preseason and the Club World Cup, where he's going to have to be thrown into the Lions Den. I would start him off with a few
Club
cup
World Cup, he's
games.
not
I
playing for
said if
Chelsea.
he's
I
You
not
were
know
playing
that,
yet,
Maresca.
right?
Bobby. He's not playing.
I'm not saying he's going to do that, but if I were Maresca, I would
He's not
start
playing,
him off.
Bobby.
He's
He's
not
not at
going to
the
play
Club
for
World
us
Cup
in the
with
Club
us.
World Cup, Bobby.
Oh yeah, he's not playing with us. Yeah, that's right. He's
Yeah,
playing
he's not
with
going to play
Palmeiras.
for
So
us in the Club World Cup.
he has whatever is left of the preseason, and then I wouldn't start him off straight away in the Premier League. I'll give him a little time, and the best managers do that. Your Peps, your Klopps, and all these people, they don't just throw their young stars in. You see them on the bench for
Yeah,
months.
100%.
In
Not
fact,
like Pochettino, yeah.
Jurgen Klopp was known for having them sat in the stands for ages before
Yeah.
you see them. So he needs to be eased in. That's the point I'm making.
I think
And,
Maresca will
Yeah.
ease him in. He's not
Maresca,
known
yeah,
yeah.
to throw players
Yeah.
in too.
and the
Maresca
fan
will do that.
base, we need to be patient with him and Andre Santos. We've got to give these guys time to find their rhythm, find their feet in the Premier League, because I can assure you they'll come for Santos as well. If he comes on, maybe subbing a Lavia or a Enzo or a Caicedo, and he makes a mistake, oh, they'll like,
What,
oh, why
Bobby?
didn't we
He's
leave
not
him
going to
at
start over
Strasbourg?
Enzo. What are you talking about?
Sorry.
I'm saying they're already saying that he should be starting over Enzo Fernandez. That's how
Yeah, I
confident they are.
mean, making those sort of demands is to me it's unfair on the boy.
All
It's
good, coach.
very unfair. He needs his time. He needs to show.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
He can start ahead of Enzo if that's even a possibility. So that's all I'm saying. I'm prepared to just be a little bit more cautious and more tepid with these kids when they hit that first team, and allow them the time to get their groove and show what they're really all about.
Catch up with what we have at the chat quickly, and now go help my wife take care of something. Glad Dante said he'll still be here for a while. Um, Let's see. I'll be back just in about 10, let's say at most 10 minutes. But let's catch up with what we have before I do that.
All good. Wait
Saying
till
Vic is
three, no
saying this
problem.
is Caicedo's fourth year in Europe. Bobby is right. It takes time generally. Let's hope Estevao and Santos adapt quickly. That's all we can hope for. I'm going to go to the very bottom. And Swadesh, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And thank you for joining us. Estevao is not Premier League ready yet. It will take years. Wow. It won't take years. No, it will not. He will need time to adapt, but not years, honestly. My goodness. All right. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. If I scroll past your name and I haven't said hello to you, apologies. As much as we'd like to interact with you, read your comments, Dante does have access to this system actually, but I don't know. I think because he uses mobile phones, it's usually difficult for him to highlight comments. But that's by the way. What else do we have here? Chelsea over the weekend had contacts for Ekitike, but this deal is not advancing. Just a call from Chelsea asking about the player. They appreciate it, and the answer from Frankfurt was 100 million euros, and Chelsea aren't going to pay that. So all the things we've been hearing for a few weeks now, all rubbish. Some were actually saying that we were close to getting the deal across the line. This particular report, Christopher Nkunku is set to leave Chelsea this summer. Bayern Munich remain interested, but will not proceed in talks if Chelsea continue to demand for 60 million euros. I don't think we'll reduce that. Chelsea ain't going to sell him for cheap.
No.
The
I'm
new
beginning to suspect this Ekitike deal won't happen. If they're
I
not
don't
going
think
to
it
budge.
looks like it's not going to happen. A lot of money.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure what's
If
going
they're
to
not
Yeah,
going
happen.
to
yeah.
budge. Yeah.
Yeah. Dante, I'll be right back. Thank you, guys. I'll be
Yeah, go
right
ahead.
back.
Yeah, we'll continue with it. Yeah, the Ekitike deal, I think Coach was saying it earlier, and was saying earlier, Bobby, the clubs are going to play hardball with us because they know we want him for the Club World Cups. Okay, so if it's going to happen, I
And
don't think
don't
it'll
they
happen.
have the Club World Cup themselves? I think they do, don't they? They certainly have the Champions League.
Yeah, but not the club. I don't think they're the Club World Cup.
Okay.
Not, no, they're not. No. Um, yeah, so I think
Oh,
well,
it's
that's why
Dortmund.
we want
It's
him early.
Dortmund, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's why we want him early, Bobby. So they're not gonna negotiate now. I think this will go after. This will take longer, and we will negotiate it after because they have the upper hand now. Just like Milan have the upper hand, and they're not budging from that. Watch once that timeline passes, how they will budge from it, and so will Finger as well. So I think, yeah, I think we're not going to get these done. And maybe Maignan we might get done, but I don't see Ekitike getting done. No chance that getting done before the Club World Cup. I don't think so.
Yeah, and Gittens is a bit of a threat because Dortmund actually have the Club World Cup themselves.
Exactly. Yes.
Although he's not fancied in their squad, so I really don't see the point in hanging on to a player that one you don't really want and probably won't play and take up the space of players that you do want. And
Yes. And he
two,
said
there's
that he
a
wants to go back to England. Yeah. So
so
he's already said that.
so he's possible could go through as well. But Ekitike, I'm like you, I can see that this won't happen until after the Club World Cup.
It depends how desperate Dortmund are as well for the money as well. If they got plans to use it, if they don't, and they're fine, well, again, they may say, well, it's worth us not sending him now, or you know, making extra money after. Or yeah, I think it's a problem. This Club World Cup is a problem because clubs, they're going to hold up to much higher valuations for clubs that are in it because of that. And I mean, they have a right to do that. It's business, but yeah, that's why I don't see us doing the Ekitike deal. Even the Gittens one, I have a bit of doubt just because of that, because we don't want to pay how much the release clause is, and we've gone with a much lower offer. So, and Dortmund really don't really need the money, to be honest. They're fine financially. They always have been. They're a selling club, so they're fine. So they would rather wait longer. I think if we pay now, well, we have to pay extra. If not, they're fine with it as well. So yeah, I think we can be patient. I mean, it's not the worst. We've got keepers. If Maignan doesn't happen, we've got keepers. If Gittens doesn't happen, maybe that's a bit more because a bit harder. Ekitike is not a big worry either because we got the Lapi now, so that's fine. And we got Jackson. That's not a big worry either. Only probably Gittens might need an extra winger because Sanchez is gone, obviously. That's the only one that I'm worried about to get done before the Club World Cup. But yeah, I think it'll be very hard with these clubs. We have to overpay if we want them before that.
From what I'm hearing, Gittens is not that far away. There's only a couple of million between the two clubs. I can see that happening. It's the I can even see the Maignan happening. I don't think it's making any sense to me right now what's going on. It's the Ekitike that I think will drag, simply because they're sticking to a ridiculous level of finance, which nobody is going to drop for Ekitike.
Yeah, look, he's got still plenty of contract to go. That's what they value him at, and it is what it is. They can keep to that. That's if you want him, you come and get him for that much. It's simple. But like I said, especially now, they've got the upper hand now. They know we need these players before the Club World Cup. So, nah, it's not going to happen. That one's definitely not happening. Even Giddens, I'm just reading now, the deal has stalled and it doesn't look likely to happen before the Club World Cup due to financial being too far apart on financial at the moment. So, unless we pay, I think, extra for Giddens as well, I don't think we're getting Giddens before the Club World Cup, to be honest. Yeah, I think Dortmund just have the upper hand there. There's no need for them to do it. So yeah, we have to play extra if we want him. I mean, he's not quite that expensive, but when there's a 20 million is a lot these days, unfortunately. So we've got plenty of. I mean, we've got plenty of cap. We've got don't have PSR problems. We're pretty good. You saw that list, Bobby, with the PSR. How much have you seen the list for the clubs? How much they're in PSR? How much they can spend this season?
I may have. I can't remember. Or was it on X?
Yeah, it was on X. Yeah, well, it was on the news and they put it on X. But yeah, we're first, so we're basically 300 million good. We've pretty much got 300 million to spend if we want this transfer window. So yeah, that's a lot of cash to spend.
It's a shame if that has been made public, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
I
I
was
don't see
thinking the
how
same
that
thing. I'm
helps.
like, it's good that it's there, but it's not really good for the club because people know, and then like Dortmund, like Frankfurt, they're going to say, well, you got the money, you have no problems,
Mm.
pay up if you want. So that it's good in a way, but it's also bad in another way because they made that public, unfortunately. So, yeah, look, we do have a lot of money we can spend. Doesn't mean we're going to spend it. I don't think we're spending that much, to be honest.
No.
No chance we're spending that much. And that will also give us extra credit for January as well if we need players. We don't have to spend it all now, obviously. So, yeah, but we can spend a lot of money. So the club's very good in the financial terms. We're very good off PSR. We have no chance of getting close to breaching that. So yeah,
And it
that's
doesn't take
it'll be
into
the madness to make
consideration sales as well, because there will
and
be
we're gonna make
sales.
more sales. Yes. Who do you see going? Who do you have? I know out of the defenders, I was saying
Mm.
Chalobah, Badiashile, Disasi to go for me. Vega, add Vega. That's 4 defenders. I know
Mm.
you probably got Chalobah. You like Chalobah?
Um, I like Chalobah, but what's more important is that Maresca likes him.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what will happen there. The one I'm sure of is the Sassy we're looking to get rid of.
Yep.
Badiashile, people say Maresca likes him, but I think Badiashile will be expendable to Maresca. Um, Vega is another one. I don't know. I think he is going to the Club World Cup. I think what happens there will determine a lot about Vega. And he will be incentivized to put in a shift. Although, even with Portugal, he was coming off the bench. He wasn't necessarily a starter, but that would mean that he would like to make himself a starter. But I think you're about right. When it comes to getting rid of centre backs, it will be all, or at least 3 out of those 4.
Yeah, the Chalobah, I would keep him as well. I know, yeah, you like him, but I would keep him. I think it all comes down to the player. Chalobah will be told, hey, will Chalobah accept a squad role? That's the only thing. Or does he want to start? Well, we've seen him that he's quite happy to play the squad, position, but he did kind of leave because at the start he wanted to join Bayern Munich, and yeah, that didn't happen. So then he went on loan. He came back. He started a few games, was good the first game, wasn't that good after, and then he started the last. Maresca liked him with Colwell, the sort of 3-4 games there in a row where they did very well. So I think he stays, but he's pure profit. I know I don't like to say that, but he is, on the books. He looks good if he gets sold. And I think not that we have books problems, but we don't know who we sign or what plans we have. So I think if he accepts the squad role, he'll stay. But I don't see him as being a starter if we sign another centre back, which leads me to my next question. Do you think we're still signing a centre back? The coach says no, he doesn't think so. I personally do. What's your opinion on that?
I really need to, just before I answer that one, go back to this talk about being a squad player. I don't think that issue arises at Chelsea. I think, look, I watched the Nations League final, and the first thing that came to my head was the players that have been playing a lot of football. I think players have played a lot of football. I'm hoping Chelsea have somebody lined up for that left back position, because I think Cucurella has played too much football. Just
Yeah,
like Yamal. You could see it in all those players. You could see it. They had all been over tasked. They're professionals. They'll keep going. But my fear of that is, you keep doing that to players, that's when you lead to that injury situation or burnout situation. So I don't think the issue of being a squad player applies to Chelsea. I think players are going to get more than enough game time. And I think Chalobah is quite happy with that. He's not really one of those players that wants to be the man. He's quite happy to be one of the team, which is a good thing, and which is probably what has helped him get his England call up. Now, is it possible that as the season goes on, he may want to play more and more, especially if he's given more and more opportunity? I think we'll have to see what happens if he stays. Now, answering your question, do you see us getting another centre back? Why I say I don't know is because who is there to get? We have a lot of centre backs, good enough to keep going. Certainly within a squad system. Now, you may say that sounds contradictory, because I've just said there's no such thing as a sort of squad system
yeah,
in Chelsea. But there are players that will be rotational players. By that I mean the likes of your Mamadou Sarrs. I mean the likes of your Anselminas. They're going to be cup rotational players, and if they're lucky, get the occasional Premier League or Champions League, depending on the state of the squad as the
yeah.
season goes on. Will we add to that? I don't know who's there. Which defender is worth Chelsea going to invest in now, or is available for us to invest in?
Mhm.
I don't know who we would be looking at. I really don't.
Well, one we talked about, that's Guehi. That's one.
Okay, yeah. 75 million.
Yeah, that's what they're asking. Doesn't mean they're going to get that. That's what they're asking. But I have seen
Okay,
so someone who's very close to on social media, like his brother, and they
okay.
both, yeah. So they're saying that he's talked to the family and said stuff like that, and he said he's 100% wants to come back to Chelsea, and he's going to try to facilitate that move for him to get back to Chelsea, and he'll be pushing for that move. If
Well,
Chelsea
we should
come, he'll
take that
definitely,
if we can get it, for sure.
yeah. So if that's true, it seems credible. But that person is credible normally. So if it is true, well then they're not going to sell him for 75 million, because then if he says he wants to go, then yeah, that could change. So I can see then us getting him for much cheaper than that, which is fine. And the one thing we got to remember on that deal, we have a 20% kicker on that deal. So if we buy him back, it's 20% cheaper. So that brings the price down already quite a bit. And I think for like 45 million for a proven Premier League defender, England international, starting centre back, I think that's pretty good business in my opinion. And plus, he's not going to ask for ridiculous wages either. So he knows the club very well, in and out. And I think it's that profile that we need. That we've only got one defender that's anywhere near that, but that's a Tosin, which is a bit of more of a leader, but more physical and more of a sits back, a traditional defender, and reads the play. I think we don't have many of those. That's only Tosin, to be honest. So I think he would fit that role perfectly next to Levi to help him as well. So yeah, I think he's the one I would go for. And if that's true that he wants to come back and he will try to push for the move if we go after him, from what he said, well, then I think we should 100% go after him. And I think that price, even if it's 45, 50 million, I think it's a very good price for that type of player, especially with our 20% kicker as well that we have in the contract if we buy him back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to wait and see what happens this summer.
That one will drag on.
Definitely,
Yeah, it won't be now. Yeah.
I will definitely take him if it's possible. But apart from him, I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, there's
but
quite a few.
if you guys are talking about
available,
Guehi,
but
do you guys really think we'd pay 70 million pounds for him?
no, I don't think so. But we would pay 50 million pounds for him.
Yeah, 50 is a good price.
45, 50, coach. And the salary, his salary is not ridiculous. There's no demands. So when you stretch, don't forget, he's only 24. So,
but also there's competition. Other clubs might be willing to pay him a lot more.
Yeah, Newcastle are after him. Apparently, Newcastle are very much after him. European football, so they really want him as well. So, but from what I've seen and read, he wants to come back to Chelsea. If we're going for him, he's going to push for the move, and he will come back to Chelsea. So it depends if we go for him. And he's on our list. Apparently, he was on our list. A lot of the big journalists, put that out. So we'll see what happens. It's not now. It's not going to happen now. But I think that's one that can happen, and that's one I would approve of happening. He's 100. If that happens, I think he'll fit the squad perfectly.
Yeah. Here says Victor Osimhen is coming to Chelsea.
These are the sort of needle movers that we should be looking for, because Gui will move the needle defensively for sure.
I think he will, yeah. Victor Osimhen is coming to Chelsea according to Mo Osman. Okay, if he comes, I'll take him. I'm not going to say no. Those PSR are the allowable ceiling for spending, not that we have it to spend. George, Stab, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Okay, kick Sterling out. Mo Osman, I think he's gone, but not going to be easy. We might end up probably agreeing a payoff. Osimhen isn't coming to Chelsea. Get over it. Only a very few players are ahead of Tosin at numbers this season. Tosin is an excellent defender. I don't think anybody takes that away from him. One of our best, actually. We lost to Newcastle. Let's see what else we have here. Fofana is suspect. Vega is in coming back. It's believable that Vega would want to remain at Juve to continue playing as a centre back if there's no space for him at Chelsea. This is a gone. I don't expect Chalobah to stay. Yeah, he may well go. But Guehi isn't better than Tosin. I wouldn't say he is. Younger, quicker, maybe. I would take Tosin anytime, any day, but it depends on what I'm looking for.
Different, honestly, profile.
Yeah.
Different,
Tosin is much better passing range. But go ahead, Dante, I'll let you
yeah, look, I mean, obviously Guehi's not that tall. It's different. He's much faster. Guehi's a bit faster, as in acceleration on shorter distances. IQ, I think Guehi's much better. Positioning, I think he's very good at as well. So I would take Guehi over Tosin, my personal opinion. And I think that's why Guehi plays for England as a starter as well. I mean, that's one big reason he's there as well. So he's got that IQ where he can control the back line and position himself very well and read the play very well. I've seen Tosin do that very well. I'm a big fan of Tosin. You know, I've been asking him to start from the start of the season. Me and Coach Ella wanted him to start because we thought, he'll suit it. But yeah, I still think where he's just a little bit above that. He's a bit better than that, than Tosin overall. Obviously, Tosin in the air is much better. And when you've got matchups like when you come against Nottingham Forest and they've got Wood in this as their striker, well, then you start a Tosin. So it's a great option to have, but I would definitely take Guehi over Tosin, in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. If we sign Guehi, fine, then we'll have a more solid defender, which will go a long way. Says Upamecano. What would be perfect
No.
signing for Chelsea? Currently 181, Southwell, who's on 200k, Fofana, who's on 200k, and bump Kuku from 175 to 200 by Upamecano, give him 200.
What?
I don't really like Upamecano. He makes a lot of mistakes.
I think he would
I don't.
struggle in the Premier League, that player.
Yeah.
He would, if he makes that many mistakes in Germany, in the Premier League under pressure, he would really struggle.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like Upamecano that much. But again, that's my opinion anyway. Question for Bobby: would you take Gallagher back over Santos and Pies? Wow. That's not a good question.
No, the
That's
Gallagher,
a question designed to wind Bobby up. But Bobby, good.
no, the Gallagher ship has sailed. He was good when he was here. I was very much a fan, and I made no secret of that.
Yes.
But that time has passed now.
Honestly, I like look. I don't want to talk about his time at Atletico. I don't think it'd be fair to do so. 54 likes. Let's try and see if we can get it to 60. We'll round off as soon as possible because, yeah, this is the last day, right, for the mini transfer window because we will have to come back again to follow things until the end to see how we end it. Any updates?
We have till tomorrow, 7:00 UK time.
7:00 p.m. UK time.
Yes.
Yeah, but still things will start heating up today because no extensions like the usual transfer market where say you get a few hours extension or so. So we'll see if there's time. We'll still do one later in the day. If anything new emerges, I think what would drive that will be the news out there. Real Gems, any update? We've talked about quite a lot. No new updates than Maignan wanting to join Chelsea. And he's told Milan that make it happen, otherwise he'd leave as a free agent. Mike and Neil, Tosin is miles better than Guehi. I would play Tosin more games. They're just different anyway. Both can actually start together, in my opinion. Upamecano, I like that one. Oh my goodness. I will look at Jonathan David as another striker. Napoli probably will take him. No AFCON commitment, I agree. But I think Napoli will eventually sign him. We have to file a case against Saudi League. They are ignoring our players. I think if we want them to sign any players, we have that connection, they'll probably come for him. Yeah, people, more likes, getting closer. 4 more likes to get it to 60. And press and hold your screen for just about a second. Then you see the bells and whistles, like, comment, and then everything you want to do. So look, this just emerged, and I think we knew that was the case. Haven't we talked about that already? That Chelsea wants him to be part of the squad. He's that good at his age.
Yeah, part of the squad. That doesn't mean too much, Coach, but yeah, he'll be part of the squad for the Club World Cup, yes.
Shay Wendy, nice to see you, Shay Wendy. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Doesn't he look like Tobago a little bit, or is it just me?
Yeah, a little bit of a leaner version of Tobago.
Yeah. Chelsea rate Sarr highly and always wanted him to join up with the squad. Is a different thing altogether. Whether he stays or not, we'll find out. As soon as possible, he will be part of the senior group that is going to the US to play at the FIFA Club World Cup. So that's his audition.
Yeah, look, I mean, we are treating it as a bit of a preseason as well, really. So a lot of players will be there to train and, learn and watch. Is he going to play? I don't know. It depends on who's going out and who's coming in. But, we are playing against some really weak teams the first couple of games. So you never know. You might see him, but I doubt it, to be honest. I don't think he'll start. I don't think he might come on as a sub later on or something, but I don't think he'll start yet. It's too new. He'll be too new to come. There's no real preseason between then. If it was later on if there was like the preseason first and then the Club World Cup, maybe. But I think from what Maresca said, they're going to take this Club World Cup pretty serious, even though some of the weak
A
teams,
lot
like I
of
said in the
money.
group stage. So I think he'll be playing quite a lot of strong team.
Yeah, a lot of money, man. Why wouldn't they?
Exactly. Yeah. So they're going to take it very seriously. So yeah, I don't think he'll get time to play. No.
Yeah, so this right here, I should stop. Thomas Araujo, Ronald Araujo, not Thomas. I'm not sure whether we're interested in signing him, honestly. Okay, Chelsea players are scheduled to return to Cobham tomorrow to begin Club World Cup prep, not including those still away on international duty. Here's why he may get a chance to play, because the other guys, they're gonna arrive late. So Sam may well be one of the first to arrive. So which
He will
means
be
the
the
first
first.
game in the Club World
Yeah.
Cup, he may get a chance to play. I don't know. But it's a serious competition anyway. It's not like your regular preseason games, like just for the sake of it, for fitness. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of money involved. Would like to win it. But go ahead, you were saying something.
And he doesn't know the coach. He doesn't know any of the players. No one. You can't expect him to get pretty much there and 2-3 days later to start. I don't think that's not happening.
Yeah, I agree. From the Premier League, both Chelsea and Arsenal are interested in Alejandro Garnacho. Ooh, Chelsea fans are not going to be happy there.
Yeah, look, I think
I
his
think
price is quite down.
his agent's PR team is working overdrive.
Of course they are. Yeah.
But Bobby, he's not a bad player. You could argue the crisis at Manchester United affected a lot of players.
Yeah, it's an argument, but it's no more than that. It's just an argument. I wouldn't have him personally. And the amount of advert that they're doing to get rid of him just shows how desperate and how he's not really that wanted.
No, he's not wanted. He doesn't fit the system at all. He doesn't play really with wingers. So yeah, and it was made pretty much public as well. So it's either very smart or very dumb, because that's going to push its price down a lot. So look, I think we could be looking at it if the price comes down a lot, which I think it already has, and it might even go even lower. Don't be surprised Chelsea put a sneaky, really cheap bid in, and we might try to take him because he
And
is a
then
good.
sell him for a lot more, right?
Well, if it doesn't work out in a year or so, yeah, you probably still sell him and probably still make money. Let's not forget he's very young and he's already Premier League kind of proven. He's played a couple of years now and he's done pretty good in the previous system where he's more of a winger, scored goals. He's a direct winger, kind of what we were looking for. So yeah, look, don't be surprised. If we put an offer for him, salary is not a problem with him, so that's fine. Enzo Fernandez is their Argentinian teammate, good friend. So I mean, that's another little thing. But don't be surprised, Chelsea. He's definitely was in our scouting list. So don't be surprised if his price comes down even more. And he said he wants to stay in the Premier League in England. He's put that out in the tweet. So that tells you that, he's looking for a club in England. So, yeah, don't be surprised if we put a sneaky, really cheap bid in for him.
Yeah, I do agree. Chelsea missing out on Ryan Turkey. I feel somehow, and the fact that he's going to Man City, I'm going to hate seeing him play against us. That's how much I like him, really. Despite the way Ryan Chucky is super quality, I'm so jealous. I'm jealous, really. Pep probably didn't know he was available for us, for how much they're getting him for. And the moment they realized that, they pulled out of the deal to sign Florian Wirtz. And I think he's going to do well in the Premier League than Wirtz. Honestly.
I don't know.
Araujo is injury prone. We have KDH. Good. Were you saying something?
Yeah, we've got KDH as backup to Palmer,
And
and we will
he's
have
going to play a lot next season because he'll be part of
yeah,
full preseason this year.
correct.
Yeah, he's going to play a
And
lot in
let's
the
not
coming
forget
season.
Esteval as well. He said he wants to play in that 10 position as well. So you've got another youngster there that really, and if he kicks off, we don't know if he will or not, but if he does, then I think he will, because I've got high expectations of him. So I think he'll be very good. So I see him backing up Palmer as well quite a lot in that 10 as well. So yeah, I
Hasn't
think that's
Esteval already been given Palmer's old number 20 shirt?
I did see
not
Yeah.
something
sure.
online.
No, he might wear his shirt that he wears that he likes. It's his favorite number that he wore at Palmeiras actually, the 41. So he might want that because that's available. So he might go for that number. From what I've read, he might keep that number.
Yeah, Staff is saying leave Garnacho where he is. He's a squad full of attitude. If they want 10K, okay, send him to Strasbourg. A lot of Chelsea fans don't want him. Wish Chucky all the best. The last time we were interested in him, SDs mentioned his red flags. I think it was the red flags of a thing was by our fans, not necessarily the XDs. The XDs should be experienced enough that in football, players as good as Chucky usually have one issue, off the field issue, really. Honestly, attitude as a main issue. We don't want that around young stars. Yeah, he's a young star himself. Honestly, Militao, where is he actually?
Real
When was the
Madrid.
last time I heard about him? After
He
the
had
last time
a
I heard about
he
him
had a
was
season-ending
again
injury,
as a
coach.
Madrid player. Does he still play for Madrid? Where is he?
Yeah, he had a season-ending injury.
Ooh, so he's been out for a while.
Yeah, he's been out for a long time.
Yeah, we shouldn't sign him. No, please, we shouldn't. Anything else you guys want us to talk about? Maignan was class yesterday and no negative noise. Listen, in that behavior of judging a player based on just one performance alone is crazy. Unbelievable, really,
It happens all the
from our
time.
fan base.
Like I
Sorry?
said, most fans have a memory of 2 to 3 games, what happened before, and that's about it. I don't know why, but it seems that's the new generation. Just they only remember the last few games and nothing before that.
Yeah, so Stav is saying he doesn't even mean 10,000 pounds, he means 10 pounds, not 10K. That's how much he rates Garnacho.
Garnacho is one of those guys that everybody hates when he's on the other team, but when he's on your team, a lot of people like him because he's got that attitude. And when a player that does that attitude and is on your
Attitude
team,
from a fighting perspective, not from
correct.
being a bad person or you would say,
Exactly.
yeah.
From being a fighter and, really Argentinian blood, Argentinian flair, Argentinian attitude. But when he's on your team, it's different. But when he's on another team, everybody hates him.
Yeah. Delete isn't the one the United signed? I mixed their name up a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't want him. Really.
He got
But
injured as
that's
well,
just
I
me.
think.
It's not up to me. I judge you by every show, coach. Just go. I judge you by your comments every show too. Go back to work and leave me the heck alone. I don't know. I think we've covered everything. Then it will pay attention to what's going on. If new stuff emerge, be rest assured we'll be streaming in about 6 hours or so. It depends on what's happening out there. Otherwise, we'll leave it to make the again and I'll stream tomorrow. But Dante, anything else you want us to talk about?
Yeah, coach, you should know by now any team they're going to leave. If there's deals, they're going to do them at the last minute, in the last hour. Unfortunately,
Okay.
they never learn. Doesn't matter what window it is, they always do deals in the last hour. It's just tactical negotiations, try to get better prices, blah blah blah. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, like Bobby was saying earlier, it's probably going to be to the last hour as usual.
Okay. Bobby, anything else you want to talk about, or should we call it a day?
Oh, I think he's
All right.
disconnected.
One
I
more
was
live.
trying to unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. I mean, Matthias de Ligt. That's an interesting one. He was somebody that was puffing his shoulders up, looking for money, making himself out to be all that, and
And
he's
he
turned
got it.
out to be a huge disappointment. Um, he turned his nose up at us when we were at the fledgling stage of our development. Now look what's happened. I don't
He's
like that
injured.
player
He
for
got injured
dust.
as well. He got
Good.
injured, so he hasn't been playing for a
Uh,
while, a long time now. So he'll be back next season. He'll be playing. He's got a big contract and a lot of money, so he's definitely going to be playing.
no love
Yeah,
lost to
we
him.
wanted him so much when he
Yeah,
was
we
still
did
at
at
you.
times.
Yeah. Yep. All right, people. With that, we've come to the natural end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. I appreciate you all finding the time to join us this morning. Thank you to the captain of the community, Constantine Duntu, and the senior panelist, Bobby. I cannot appreciate you guys enough. Thank you to Chelsea. Thank you to Vic, Troublemaker. Thank you to Stav. Thank you to Coolest Juice and Tobago. And thank you to all of you. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. Thank you to Mahim Neum. Of course, see you guys next time. God bless us all. And cheers.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for Europe does, and there with a love this storm. Every foe says to fair, and there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to the light. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for Europe does, and there with a love this storm. Every foe says to fair, and there was a strife. How you, my heart, keep the blue flame inside like we soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit